Hello everyone, Vicky Verley here, Rock and Roll Prophetess. This is going to be your July forecast for all signs. This is the largest, most comprehensible reading that I do all month long. It's going to be an all signs video. We're going to pull cards from the Wandering Star Tarot, then we're going to pull cards from the Flower Child Tarot. We're going to pull an animal totem for each sign. We're going to pull a Holy HAMSA Oracle card, and then we're going to pull lots of love, lots of answers, and lots of proverbs. So lots of tools, lots of fun, lots of interesting information coming up for July 2026. My name is Vicky Verley, and you're watching the Rock and Roll Prophetess on YouTube. Don't be fooled by imposters. You can find me at vickyverley.com. The special reading that I'm offering now is going to be the eclipse readings. We're going to have 2 eclipses in August, and I always like to start a month earlier to get everybody in who would like to order. You can find out all that information on the links below or my website. Before we get started with the cards, I want to do a quick astrological overview, starting with, well, first of all, I want to wish all the Cancer and Leos born in July a happy solar return birthday. This is your most powerful time of the year to manifest your reality. The first major astrology thing is going to be the 14th, where we're going to have a new moon in Cancer at 21 degrees 59, so basically 22 degrees of Cancer. We are in Cancer season. There's been a lot of energy in the Cancer sector. And then on the 22nd, the Sun is going to move into Leo, and it's going to join Jupiter, which is already there. And actually, Jupiter went in on June 30th, but it's really entering in. I mean, it's active starting on July 1st, pretty much, you could say. So we're going from the Cancer energy, and we're moving into the Leo energy, not only with the Sun, but through the Jupiter and other planets as well. On the 23rd, we're going to have Mercury go direct, so things can be moving forward. Feel free to sign contracts and do all these sorts of things. Another big astrological shift that's going to happen is on the 27th. The nodes are going to move from Pisces and Virgo into Aquarius and Leo again. And then actually one of the eclipses in August is in Leo. So we're getting a lot of Leo energy. But it's going to be in everybody's chart. It's not only for Leos. You all have Leo somewhere in your chart. But this is going to be another big shift in energy. Now, the last time that we had the nodes in Aquarius and Leo would have been 2008 and 2009. And prior to that would have been 1989 to 1990. And then prior to that it would have been 1970 to 1972. It's about every 18 to 19 year cycle, so you could keep following it back. And it's good to think back on those times, because these are the times when you can see what happened then, and maybe what will happen is a similar area of your chart is getting activated as those times were. And they call them the nodes of fate because that's exactly what they do. They draw us to our highest goals. The north node draws us to our true north, our highest goals, and then the south node is what we need to release and leave behind. On the 29th, we're going to have a full moon in Aquarius, 6 degrees 30 minutes Aquarius at 10:36 a.m. Eastern. So that's coming to a culmination of everything that we started back in the new moon in Aquarius, which would have been either late January or February of this year. I want to let everybody know that I do have weekly All Signs Tarot and Astrology on Patreon, and that also it's not just so you can pay. You're not actually just paying for this reading. By doing the Patreon, you're also supporting the work I do here on YouTube, the writing, and all the other things that I do. I am an author. Speaking of writing, I am an author of several books, including a book on tarot, and I've been a professional reader since the late '80s, so I have many years of experience. The featured reading, again, is the eclipse reading. So this is the August 12th solar eclipse in Leo and the August 28th lunar eclipse in Pisces. And it's going to affect everybody differently. This is a psychic astrology reading where we'll dive in. It'll be a tri-wheel, they call it. So your chart will be in the middle. Then we'll have the first eclipse and the second eclipse. And we'll look at everything where it lines up with your planets and what you might expect from these lineups. Okay, without further ado, let me move some of these cards out of the way, because we're going to get started into the sign by sign. And as always, we will start with the sign of Aries. This is for Aries Sun, Rising Moon. Whatever you resonate with. If you want to check your Venus, knock yourself out. North Node. It doesn't. There's no hard, fast rules. If you resonate with the Aries energy, cross watcher, on all the signs, whatever you resonate with, then maybe you can get a message from it. All right, let's go ahead and do some shuffling up. And what is in store, or what do Aries need to know, or what is in store for our Aries coming up in the month of July? What do we have? The first card we have is the Ace of Swords. Next we have the King of Swords. That always reminds me, I know a guy that looks just like that. And third, we have the Four of Swords. You got all swords across the board. Now, the swords are communication and things like this. It's air sign energy. It could also be the full moon in Aquarius, which is air sign energy. But, you know, swords are swords, and swords do cut. You know, there is this big thing coming up with your ruling planet, Mars, conjunct Uranus on the 4th of July. So everybody needs to pay attention to that date. But it is Mars, your ruling planet, so maybe you a little more. Watch out for, you know, not getting into arguments. It's kind of, you know, it's a little bit, not worrisome, but concerning that it's going to be on the 4th of July when people are out there blowing off fireworks and, you know, getting drunk and partying and stuff. You know, hopefully everybody will be safe out there. Okay, now let's go ahead and get 3 more cards for the sign of Aries, Sun, Rising, Moon for the month of July of 2026. What do we have? We have the Two of Pentacles. Next we have the Four of Pentacles. And finally we have the Ten of Pentacles. I was thinking to myself, what if you get all Pentacles? Because you got all swords in the top row and then all Pentacles in the bottom row. So then it happened that way. Well, you know, Ace of Swords is actually a really good card. It's a victory. It's a triumph. The King of Swords seems to be somebody who's a helper to you, who's facilitating this, whatever this breakthrough thing is. Sometimes the King of Swords actually can be involved in legal, law, lawyers, people in the court system, these types of things, but doesn't have to be. In general, it can be an air sign person, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. But I do feel a strong connection with these, with this Ace of Swords. And I'm looking at this cheetah panther here, and these dots are standing out to me, and my guides are saying, follow the dots. Almost like follow the breadcrumbs. Or really what it reminds me of is, remember when you were kids and you had those you had to draw the lines, and then it would come out and the picture would be there, but you didn't know until you did the dots. You had to follow the dotted lines. And that's what this is feeling like to me. Like something's going to be revealed. Like you've been going along from the dot to the dot to the dot, and then finally it's all going to come together. And the King of Swords is a big player in whatever it is. I feel like after this you can just take a break. You can chill out. Feels like you've been striving really hard, working really hard. You do push yourself, Aries. We all know this. You push, push, push. So this seems to be a major turning point, actually. And then you can get a nap or something. These swirly plants here and these swirly plants on here are really standing out to me, as is the ocean. So maybe and I almost feel like I'm laying, you know how when you lay near, you feel that sea air, you breathe in that sea air, and it just brings a calm over you. I had that yesterday because I've been really stressing a lot here too. And I finally made some time to get to the lake, and boy, I wasn't there very long when all of a sudden I thought I was just going to pass out and fall asleep, because I haven't even been sleeping because I've been so wound up. But that's something about that sea air. So some of you, this looks like maybe seaweed. You may take or maybe this is like a seaside place that has that motif, seaweed wallpaper or something like that. Maybe that could really do you well. Whatever it is, you're accomplishing this big task, and then you can take a little breather. From the looks of the bottom cards, it does look like it is tied into your money and finance. Something that's been kind of up and down, up and down. You're not sure which way it's going to go. And you've been, okay, well, I don't know how this is going to turn out. Is it going to go this way? Is it going to go that way? Am I going to get the job? Am I not going to get the job? This could be property, especially with the Four of Pentacles and Ten of Pentacles. With the houses here, this could be a property. Am I gonna find the place? Am I gonna get the house? Am I gonna sell the house? And you're just like, well, I better hold off because I don't know if I'm gonna need the money for this or that. You're like, I better hold off, and then bam, you've got the Ten of Pentacles, and that says everything is all right. You came through this portal, and you landing in this place of major prosperity. And then let's not be looking right away for the next mountain to climb here. It's almost like a Capricorn energy here. Let's give yourself some downtime, some chill time, because it feels like many of you these are major accomplishments, like major tasks have been accomplished. Okay, let me go ahead and shuffle up and let's see what the animal totem for Aries is going to be for the upcoming month of July 2026. We have the deer. I had this intense dream about deer last night. It was the size of a horse, but I knew it was some kind of a giant deer, and it was in the road, but it was like dead. It was like sort of a carcass type of thing. Excuse me 1 minute. I'm getting pain in my jaw. I want to take an aspirin here. Yeah, but the deer is all about that gentle energy, and it's really interesting that it shows up right next to the Four of Swords, because that's telling you that you need some downtime, you need to chill a little bit. The deer is about being gentle and chilling out and things like this. I'm getting a really bad pain in my throat here, hold on. Alright, let me read what I wrote initially. Gentle, peaceful, sensitive soul. Loving persuasion realizes desires. Pay attention to your surroundings, ready to act in an instant. Quiet retrospect or introspect reveals the answers you seek. Okay, now let's go over and get a card from my Holy HAMSA deck. Holy HAMSA for Aries, Sun, Rising, Moon, or whatever you feel compelled to look at. And you have Nirvana. This is the completion card. My deck here, these Holy HAMSA, you know, it's comprised of 50 cards, all right? So this is the 50th card. This is the final space. This is the final, you've reached the apex, you know, you've reached the point of completion. And I'm going to scroll through and find the book and tell you what I wrote about it initially when I created the deck. The keywords are wisdom, completion, enlightenment. A place of peace, a spiritual awakening. Peace here, peace here, peace here. Peace. You need some peace. The journey to nirvana or enlightenment is never ending. Once we set our foot upon the spiritual path, we traverse many trials and tribulations on our life's journey. The Nirvana card acknowledges that you have reached some point of spiritual mastery, or it was within your grasp at this moment. This card symbolizes a beacon of light, a path to adhere to, the light at the end of the tunnel. There is a state of being that we may fall in and out of, yet we keep striving to maintain. Continue moving through the states of enlightenment and quest for higher knowledge. Yeah. So it feels like you're doing this big completion thing, and you deserve some fun. You deserve to, don't be looking for the next thing that you're going to tackle. Allow yourself this downtime to just enjoy the fruits of your labor, you know, and really breathe in the energy. And I would really recommend maybe going somewhere. I know you're a fire sign, but this water energy is really coming through strong. All right, well, hey, I almost called you Aquarius. Hey, Aries, if you want to get in on any of the readings I offer, or even the special eclipse reading, that's a limited time offer that I have there, you always have to head over to my website. I won't be messaging you on social media. Those are imposters, okay? Hey, Aries, I'm sorry I picked up the cards. I forgot that to do your lot, so I'm just going to do them on a blank screen here, because I forgot about it. I already did something different. So the first one you have is devoted. So somebody could be devoted to you or you to them. And next we have unlikely. And then finally, the final lot is going to be lots of answer. You have don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Okay. So take that as it resonates. Sorry about forgetting about you. I was a little bit rushed. I was having really bad pain in my tongue, and I get TMJ, and the TMJ has just been bothering me lately. I think that's because I've been stressed and I'm clenching. But anyway, sorry about that. So thanks for tuning in, and next we're going to look at the sign, the sign of Taurus. Hello Taurus, Sun, Rising, Moon, peeps. This is going to be your July of 2026 psychic astrology and tarot, mostly tarot today, reading for July of 26. This is for Sun, Rising, Moon. Let's see what we get for July of 26 for our Taurus people. We have Two of Pentacles. That was in the last reading, but in the other deck. Two of Swords, double twos. And finally, Strength card. Next, we're going to pull three more cards from the Flower Child Tarot. Three more cards for Taurus, Sun, Rising, Moon, or anyone who resonates with the Taurus energy, basically. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's just the top one wants to come. Okay, let's see. Four of Swords. Oops. I think we had that in the last reading too, but in a different spot. Strength, double strength. Got strength twice. And this one just wanted to pop off here, the moon. Okay. Well, it seems like things may... Well, Mercury is retrograde as we enter into July. And it seems like things are not going as quickly as you would like on a lot of fronts here, because strength is here twice, And strength is like, have strength, hang in there, have patience. Things are moving slowly. You know, because the Strength card also has the Lion in it, and sometimes is associated with Leo, it could be like things will really start picking up here after the 22nd, as the Sun moves into Leo. You know, that might be the case for you. Four of Swords is also a card of, well, it's actually a card of just rest and don't push. You know, take your time, have a rest. Things may take a little bit longer, but also it's a time to just, it's a healing time. You may be in need of a healing. You may be gathering your strength, especially like if you had a surgery or something with these swords here. Maybe if some of you may have gone through some kind of surgical procedure and you're going to need time to get your strength back. Don't push it. Because they're showing me, like when I had, years ago, I had a surgery and I was young. And I had to get back to work. You know, I didn't have any choice. And I ended up busting open my stitches. Actually, that happened to me twice. I busted my stitches open from not doing the proper resting or recuperation. Because sometimes, I know sometimes you can't, especially if you got kids and stuff to do, you know. But this is talking about that. But whatever it is, I feel too, it's just like, some of you may be waiting on a decision and you don't know the answer. And pushing isn't going to do any good. You're just going to have to wait it out. That's what my guides are saying. It may be with the Two of Pentacles here, it may be over a job. For some of you, because we have these double twos, it may be a choice between two things. Maybe you're trying to decide between two partners or two lovers or two job opportunities, or maybe if you're looking for a job or something, because this is a Pentacle card, you may be, these could be two applicants, that you may be one of two applicants that are being considered for the position. The Moon is here, so that Moon is going to be a thing. You know, that Moon is going to be a determiner, or whatever this waiting thing, I feels like the Moon is going to be the thing that, you know, kind of moves things forward. Now, we do have a Cancer Moon on the 14th, but I'm pushing it down, I want to say, by the full moon at the end of the month, Aquarius here, that's the 29th, we have that full moon in Aquarius. It feels like by that time, then you're really going to know the outcome. You know, so it might take, and look, if there's even two little flowers on here. So you got two strength cards, you know. So there's all these twos everywhere. Two is the card of the feminine, the intuition. It is actually associated with the moon, also number 2. But it feels like two that, no pun intended, it feels like also that, you know, it's two people or two options or two things that are being decided upon. Of course, that's going to vary depending on your actual situation. Let's go ahead and get some more clarification by pulling our animal totem card. This is for our Taurus, the sun, rising, and moon people. 2 could be a key number as well. So if you have to pick a number for some reason, you know, add the appropriate amount of zeros. Maybe if you're selling something, maybe you want to say 200,000 or, you know, 20,000 or 2,000 or 200, you know. You can use that 2 as maybe that's a number for you. Okay, let's go ahead and get a card for Taurus. We have the bee. I was going to say, what if we get the lion? I was thinking to myself, because there is a lion in here, because you got the 2 lions, but we didn't. We got the bee. The bee is about really being busy, like busy bee. And it's also abundance, though. Fertility, abundance, creativity, propagation, strong connection to home and family, accomplishing tasks in a timely manner, taking time to taste the sweet nectar in life. Yeah, so if you've got this downtime, enjoy it. You know, don't be, well, you're not usually one to stress all that much, Taurus. You guys are usually pretty chill, you know. But, you know, take that time that you're waiting, because it does feel like there's a waiting involved with the Strength and the 4 of Swords. These are both cards of having to wait. You know, take that time to, you know, chill out, do something, you know, productive but fun, something that's fulfilling. Not productive, oh, I'm going to go out and do some hard labor thing and break my stitches open, if that's, you know, that kind of thing. More just like, well, you know, I always wanted to read this book, or I always wanted to, you know, I'm going to break out my craft supplies, or, you know, stuff like that. But let's see here. Let's get the Holy HAMSA card for, I think I forgot to do the lots for Aries. I believe I did. Oh, dang it. Okay, Trickster. Yeah, so sometimes when we're waiting, it's a protection. You know, it's a protection. You're waiting because it's not the right time to act, and that can also be very prevalent with Mercury retrograde. I'm trying to find the definition for the Trickster card. Okay, the keywords are deceitful, fraud, and treachery. All is not what it seems. Be wary of who you trust. The trickster card is warning you that someone may be deceiving you. Tread lightly and stay aware of subtle energies and clues that something may be amiss. The trickster is very sly and cunning and knows just what to say to lure you into their trap. Trust your gut instinct when you feel something is not quite right. Chances are your inner knowing, that's a big part of the moon too, your inner knowing and intuition is trying to alert you to their ruse. Okay, let me go ahead and get the lots. I'm going to have to go back and add the lots for Aries because I believe I didn't do them. I'm going to start with the lots of love. I'm going to put them up top rather than rearranging the whole cards because there's room in the top. It says troubled. Well, if you've been troubled, what am I hearing? If you find yourself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Yeah, if you're new here, my guides come through with songs all the time, so it's not unusual for me to break into song, but there's usually a message attached to it. Okay, let's get the lots of answers. It says promising. Yeah, so if you're looking to these two options, it looks promising that you could be chosen or things could go your way. And finally, the lots of answers. It says the early bird catches the worm. So if there is a competition for a job, maybe you want to be the first one in there, or show them that you're going to show up and don't be late, show up on time. But everything here is talking about, chilling out. Even the moon can be that too. This is also a card of waiting. So it's Mercury retrograde, we're chilling out, we're waiting, but it does feel like there's some nice abundance coming to you, if you can just be patient. And Taurus, you have that, your patience, come on, that's your middle name, right? So that should be no problem for you, because you are as a rule, are very patient people. All right, Taurus, be sure to check your sun, rising, moon. If you want to get in on any of the readings that I offer, head to my website, including the special eclipse reading, which will be available for a limited time. Check it out if you're interested. And if otherwise, I'm going to move on to the next sign, which is going to be Gemini. Hello, Gemini. This is going to be your July Psychic Tarot reading. And we're going to start with the Wandering Star Tarot and choose 3 cards. This is for your sun, rising, moon, or any planet that you resonate, that you would watch this sign. There's no hard, fast rules. If you resonate with it, then perhaps you'll get a message. Let's do 3 cards. 1, 2, and 3. A little smudge on the card. We have the Death card, which is not death necessarily. Usually it's just a big change. Then we have King of Pentacles. And then finally we have the Temperance card. Alright, so you have 2 of the 3 are major arcana in your first pull. Let me shuffle up the Flower Child Tarot. And we're going to do 3 more cards for Gemini for July of 2026 for Gemini Sun, Rising, Moon, or anybody who resonates, whatever you resonate with. 1, 2, 3. We have the Magician, another major arcana, followed by the 5 of Pentacles. Let me move these out of the way. And finally, we have 4 of Swords. That was just down in the last reading. Well, I think that these 4 of Swords and these types of cards are coming out because we are in the Mercury retrograde. And in your case, you are ruled by Mercury. Mercury is your ruling planet. So you and Virgo, but especially you, I believe that you really have to leave room for the lots, so I don't forget them. I forgot it for Aries. You guys really feel these Mercury retrogrades a lot more than perhaps. Something big changing is happening, and I feel like there is some fear surrounding it. It's always scary when something changes. So some big change, some big transformation. 5 of Pentacles, like you're feeling a little bit, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? I mean, some of you, your job, your place, employment could even be going out of business, or they may be changing your department, or something like that. But I wouldn't worry. Well, you shouldn't worry anyway. I know you got to be practical, and if your department's closing, you got to try to find another job. I understand that, but the King of Pentacles here favors you. So it's almost like, say that were the case. Maybe your department closes. The King of Pentacles would say, hey, you're such a great employee, Gemini. I got another position for you. Or I'm going to recommend you because you've just been so great. I hate to let you go. Or maybe this could be initiated on your own. Maybe you're ready to say, hey, I've had enough of this crap, because we are moving into eclipse season. And also there's a Mars-Uranus conjunction on July 4th in your sign. So you could be, that could be really, I'm fed up, I'm not going to take it anymore, I'm not going to do this anymore, kind of a thing. But it looks like you'd be landing on your feet. I mean, I'm not saying walk out the door without somewhere to go. But maybe this could also be like, for some people, you know, you just feel like, oh, I'm too old to look for another job, or I don't have, like underselling yourself, feeling not enough. Don't undersell yourself, because the magician says you got all the power in the world here. And you can do a lot of different things. And that's always the case with Geminis anyway. You know, you guys are very versatile. You do have a lot of skills. You do have a lot of interests and abilities. You know, you're great multitaskers. Temperance, the universe is on your side. The universe is on your side, and the universe is putting things together for you that it's going to be okay. Try to just stay in chill mode. I've been saying that a lot this month, but that, I mean, with the Mercury retrograde, and even that Mars-Uranus, especially because it's in your sign, people are, you know, there's a lot of wonky energy going on. Things can be a little chaotic this month. There's also that whole bucket thing with the 4 degrees everywhere, you know. A basket, not a bucket, because it doesn't have the handle, a basket. But whatever the case, there's a lot of disruptive energy. But if anybody knows how to navigate through, you know, disruptive energy, like I'm looking at these waves swirling all over the place over here, it's you, Gemini. You know, you're ready to turn on a dime. You know, you're up for it. You're ready. You're able, ready, willing, and able. That's what my guides want me to say. So, if something's ending, go ahead and forge. It's time to forge a new path here. And you probably are coming off of that time anyway, because we're just coming off of June when you had your solar return and your new moon. So now you're forging this new path. The King of Pentacles is taking notice. My guides are saying they're sitting up and taking notice. So, and there's situations that are being put together by a higher source here, your guides, your angels, whoever, that you don't have no knowledge of here in our human form. There's, you know, greater things in heaven and earth. Is that Horatio? Is that from that? Hamlet, is it? I don't know. I might be getting a lot of things crossed up, but there's definitely greater things in heaven and earth than we are aware of. The 4 of Swords is like, just sit tight, hold tight. Well, this is saying action, this is saying hold tight. I feel like take action, but then, you know, you may be waiting for the response. Don't fall into worry mode or am I enough mode or all this kind of stuff, okay? Just chill out, relax. The King of Pentacles is on the horizon, and the universe is working to bring this person into your life. This is a predestined thing. It could be a love relationship for some, for sure, you know, but it feels kind of more, especially because he's the King of Pentacles and this is money, you know, it feels kind of more money related. But again, take it as it resonates and apply it to your situation. All right, let's go ahead and get an animal totem for our Gemini friends for the month of July. Got the dove. Yeah, that's another big, you know, peace card. Obviously, it's the bird of peace. Peace, hope, faith, and love. Marriage, partnership, union. Nurturing from the divine feminine utterances of souls departed. You know, it's funny, the utterances of souls departed, because you do have the death card, but also I felt like for some, this could be some relative. And if it were, she might have been alive during when they wore these kind of clothes. And I feel like I'm talking 1920s. So I know many of you wouldn't know. But it could be going farther back. It could be great-grandmother. You know, it doesn't have to be... Maybe you never knew her in life. Sometimes we have somebody out there, you didn't know her in life, but you were named after her. Somebody, you know, great-grandmother or great-great-grandmother or something like that. It's a name that you were either named after her with your first name or maybe named after her with your middle name. Her middle name or your middle name, whatever, either way. Okay, let's go ahead and get the Holy HAMSA card for our Gemini friends. And she's the one helping and watching over you here. Okay. I'm going to say it, I got another thing. And if somebody did pass away, then they would say that they're with her too. Like, say this is your grandfather passed away, well, he's with his mother now, or his wife, you know, if she was from the 1920s. The 1920s is coming through really strong from this person. That was her heyday, I want to say. And that's a weird thing to say, too, that word heyday. All right, let's get your holy HAMSA for Gemini, Sun, Rising, Moon peeps. Let's see what we got. Slow. Yeah, things are slow. And you don't like slow. Gemini, you're not a fan of slow because you're ruled by Mercury, Quicksilver. You know, that's your thing. You know, you want to go fast, fast, fast. You're always doing. You got a whole bunch of different irons in the fire. Okay. Pace, patience, moderation. Everything is in good time. What is this doing this? Sorry about that. Moving at a leisurely pace. Yeah. I feel like it's telling you things are going to be moving a little slower than you'd hoped. You know, you want to forge ahead, but there's things that the universe is working on that's going to come to fruition. And again, the Mercury retrograde, it's just what it is. Okay. You are being advised to slow down when this card makes an appearance. You may be overdoing it and need a change of pace. It also may indicate that things are moving more slowly than you would like. Yeah, that's what I just said. Instead of becoming frustrated, remember that divine timing is always at work. This card can also be a reminder that when you move at a slower pace, you may see things that you may have otherwise gone unnoticed. Take time to smell the flowers and be present in your life. Do not overlook the little things that make life wonderful. Be aware of your surroundings as the universe may be sending you subtle clues and possibilities. Yeah. All right, let's get the lots. We're going to start with the lots of love, which may or may not pertain to love. This is for Gemini, Sun, Rising, Moon. We have the Lovers. So, yeah, maybe some of you, this could be a love interest. Maybe that's what's happening. And maybe if you haven't heard from them, don't worry. Or if you think you had a falling out and you think, is it over? Just give them a little time here. You need a space and time. Okay, next, the lots of proverbs. I have truly. Truly can mean like faithful too, like they're still true to you, you know. And then lastly, I have life is what you make it. Well, that's a good motto, and it's very true. It's a very true thing. All right, Geminis. Well, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to check all your Sun, Rising, Moon, or any other placements that you usually watch for further insights. I do have other readings on my website, or on my channel, The Rock and Roll Prophetess. If you enjoyed this content, I'd appreciate it if you give it a like, hype, all that good stuff. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love it if you would subscribe. And if you want to get in on any of the readings I offer, including the eclipse reading, which is going to be real interesting, this is for limited time, always available only through my website. Don't be fooled by those imposters out there. All right, next sign we're going to do is the sign of Cancer. Well, happy birthday, Cancer. Happy, new moon on the 14th. It's going to be your new moon. So you do get that one new moon and one full moon every year. So this is the new moon. This is the time to initiate the new beginnings. The solstice, your birthday, and your new moon are very powerful portals to manifest your reality and create your upcoming year, the upcoming energy for the upcoming year. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the 3 cards for Cancer, Sun, Rising, Moon. Jupiter has left your sign, so hopefully you've got the gift, whatever the parting gift from Jupiter. You've got 4 Cups, 3 of Pentacles, and last you have the 2 of Swords. 2 of Swords has been out a lot so far today, too. And I'm going to jump over to the other deck, which is, of course, I want to call it the groovy deck, but it's the the Flower Child deck. So we're going to do 3 cards from the Flower Child deck for our Cancer, Sun, Rising, Moon, anybody who has prominent Cancer in their astrology chart. Let's take a look here. 1, 2, and 3. First card we have is the 7 of Wands, followed by the Magician again, and finally the 4 Swords again. You've got 2 of the same cards, and I did shuffle and cut the cards, but got a couple similar ones came out again. That happens often with neighboring signs, because maybe if you're Cancer but you have some placements in Gemini, a lot of times you would want to watch the sign before or after you too. Alright, so you've been struggling, there's been some struggle, but there's a solution. This has been a lot of things that you've been up against, but now he's like, okay, now I see the way. I feel for some of you too, it's more than one, because you're trying to make a decision here. There's offers coming here, more than one offer, and it feels like there's a lot coming at you. Let's just put it that way. Again, it could be the end results of that whole, it could be the end results of that whole Jupiter and Cancer, but also your new moon. The sun is in your sign up until the what is it, the 22nd. So you're still in the spotlight. You know, you've got a lot of things to sort through, but a lot of different opportunities. They want you to take your time and be aware and do the right, make sure you're doing the right thing. I mean, you're pretty like that anyway, Cancers. You're not one to necessarily rush in, but you're going to find that one thing that's the right thing for you. It could be, if you're out there dating, this could totally be, this isn't usually a dating card, but I'm picking up those vibes from this card. This is a Three of Pentacles, but I'm really picking up that this could be a love interest for some people. Maybe somebody was wanting to ask you out, or you find the one that because the Magician's wand points straight up to this person here, you know. So take your time. You may need a rest. You may need some time. You may need time to sort through all this. For some of you, I feel too like you just moved or something, and you're trying to go through all your boxes and figure out where everything goes and all that. You know, what's standing out to me really strong are these strawberries here too. I'm hearing strawberry fields forever. I was a little off on that, but you know, maybe strawberries have, maybe if you could eat them in your diet. Maybe for some people it might be that. Maybe you have them in your garden, or you're going to go to a place and go pick them. If you're looking to meet somebody, maybe you would go to, they have those farms, they do near me anyway. I have my own plants. But you know, you can go to these fields and that you can pick strawberries, you know, and stuff like that. That might be a fun activity, or maybe even just to take your mind off of things, because you could be a little bit in your head here and here, and you need to find a way to relax, or just go be out sitting in your garden. Because this almost reminds me of like a table you would see in a garden, or a garden statue. This is very garden reminding me of here, and even this has a lot of pretty garden stuff on it too, in this one too. Really, the Three of Pentacles, though, honestly, is about working towards a goal, or learning something, or going to school, or something like that. You know, some of you may be taking a teaching position. You may be up against a lot of competition, because when I looked at these two together, it felt like this is you at the head of the class. Okay, I'm the teacher. Class, come to order here. You know, you got your stick or something, like, come to order, class, here, this is our lesson, or even your chalk, like a big piece of chalk. Look at here's the chalkboard, or the whiteboard, whatever they do these days. I'm going to be writing stuff down, or look at the projection screen, or something, like you're standing in front of the class here. You know what else I just got, because he's kind of, you know, naked-ish. Maybe some of you are going to considering being a life drawing model, you know, working, posing nude or semi-nude for. You could get a job doing that. If you have bills, maybe that's an extra, if you're okay with it, you know. You could do a nude modeling thing where the life drawing class poses for you. Take your robe off, it's like, okay, here I am. It's gonna, that's not of everybody, but that did come through, so if it comes through, I'll say it, you know. And so a lot of activity, it's a matter of weeding through. They're weeding through them here and picking one, and she's looking at many options and picking one, and you're trying to decide here. Learning and schooling, very favored at this time. This is going to be a big thing for you. And I feel like there could be a romantic connection for some. I don't know why I'm getting that vibe off of that card, just so strong. It's not, technically the Three of Pentacles is just that, a pentacle card, so it's technically money card. But you know, you always got to go with what it feels like, and allow that for yourselves too. Watching not only my readings, anybody's reading. If you look at a card and it just sort of vibes that, you know, oh, this looks like a romantic interest, then maybe it is. You know, that could be your guides and angels, or something stands out to you, like with me, the strawberries stood out to me. You know, let that happen. Oh, there is a spider coming up the camera. Okay, Spidey, where do you think you're going there, buddy? It's a little tiny one. Where did you come from? I think you might live in this camera, I've come to think of it, because this is the first time this has happened. It's very little tiny baby spider, and it's crawling on the camera. Well, spider is the Wheel of Fortune, fate and destiny and stuff. Well, let me get the animal totem. I don't want to influence the card. Animal totem. I was going to say, dang, what if you got the spider? But you didn't. You got the goat. Well, goat likes to climb to the top of the mountain, but goat can also be a Capricorn. That is the first thing that I really got out of it, that I think this is a Capricorn. The card is independent, ambitious, rugged, curious, unfaltering perseverance and determination, climbing to new heights, top of the heap, overcoming obstacles, success after hard work. Okay. Yeah, that's what this feels like. Hard work, success. Okay. And that just, I can't lose that. That looks like a romantic opportunity for you. Well, didn't we just, yeah, we just had a Capricorn full moon. Actually, it's before I'm recording this. It's on the 29th of June. There is a Capricorn full moon, and you are a lunar sign. The moon is your ruling luminary. So those new and full moons, even, well, the new moon's in your sign, but all of them are, you are one of those signs that will really feel all of them pretty strongly. And we just came off of the Capricorn, like I said, full moon on the 29th of June. So maybe that has something, you know, maybe something that's initiated then or happened then. And this is the aftermath of all that too, it could be. Okay, next we're going to get this card. Get the Wish card. Yay! The Holy HAMSA. This is my deck that I created. If you want to zoom in, and if you're on a device where you can zoom in and look at... I know it doesn't always show up great on camera, but I can see them, and I don't have great vision either. And I can see the background words. They're meant to be subtle on purpose, so it's kind of an intuitive thing. So you just don't, it's not just right in your face. Well, and I made it number 9 because, you know, the 9 of Cups is the Wish card in the tarot. It says, Wish card, success, fruition, attainment. Your wish is coming true, a time of great abundance. This card signifies a definite yes to your question when it shows up in the spread. Thank your lucky stars and count your blessings, which are many. You're on a roll and the gifts keep coming. Make a wish and trust that the universe has got your back, for you are aligning with divine synchronicity. Success, fulfillment, happiness, and satisfaction. Wonderful things are unfolding in your life. Enjoy. Yeah, that's a really good card to get. So your wish is coming true, but it seems like it's not just, you know, there's some obstacles to overcome, or you've got to kind of weed through. You've got to kiss a lot of frogs to find the prince. There you go. Perfect. You might have to kiss some frogs. Cancer. Oh, I forgot again to make room on the bottom. We're going to put them on the top. First, start with the whole, love, lots of love. It says laughter. Well, that's always a good sign. That's always something that's always been important to me. I can't handle people who take themselves too seriously. All right, next we're going to have the lots of answers. And we have possibly, what am I hearing? It's a possibility. It's like a kid's song. It might even be Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Oh, it's a I don't know what it is. That song is coming through, and there's a word possibility in it, I believe. Okay, lots of answer for Cancer. We have nothing ventured, nothing gained. Yeah. So you got to make a choice. You got to be the magician. Put yourself out there. This is a great time. Even though Jupiter has left your sign, this is still a great time to put yourself out there, especially around that new moon of yours on the 14th. That's really another really powerful time for you, Cancer. And then after that, you can chill out. You have the Jupiter, what was it, the Jupiter Sun or Jupiter something conjunction in your sign. Everybody's talking about. I even did a reading on it. Then you had Jupiter in your sign, and then you had the solstice, and then you have the new moon in your sign. So now, now you can chill out a little bit, okay? Maybe, get snuggly up here with your new beau or whoever this is over here. I don't know why I keep wanting to say that. Excuse me. Okay, Cancers. Well, if you want to get in on any personal readings that I offer, always through my website, please don't be fooled by these social media imposters, for myself or other people as well. Also, I am offering that special, the eclipse reading. So we'll look at the astrology and see exactly where those eclipses are in your chart. With that said, have a happy birthday solar return, and I'll see you next time. Next, we're going to take a look at the sign of Leo. All right, Leo, well, it's really coming into a big time. Like, you haven't been involved in any of the major astrology things for some time. But wow, everything, well, happy birthday, too, to all the late July Leos. And also then the sun is going to move into your sign as of the 22nd. And as of June 30th, Jupiter is in your sign, too. So really a lucky year ahead for you. Now, with the Jupiter, I want to give you these dates because they're important. These are the last time frames when you had Jupiter in your sign. Mid-year 2014 to 2015, 2002, 2003, 1990, 1991, 79, 67, 68, 55, and so on and so on. Now, if you had, those are the times, and Jupiter's going to go over your sign and hit your sun if you're Leo sun sign. If you're Leo rising, it's going to go over your first house, which is also a big cycle of renewal. But you think back to those times and think about what happened and how it was good fortune and lucky, even if sometimes it doesn't feel that way. Because sometimes we get these things and we don't know, we don't see that it's good luck or good fortune. We're just like, yeah, whatever. The other big thing for you is that's not all, Leo. And then the sun goes into your sign on the 22nd, but also the nodes are going to be moving into your sign. So that's also huge. The nodes it's going to be the south node that's in your sign. These are the nodes of fate. It's very karmic. The last time, these are the other years, it would have been 2008, 2009, 89 to 90, and 1970 to 1972. So if you were born during those years too, you will be having a nodal return. But it's the south node. The north node is in Aquarius, so you're opposite. It's in the south node. So when the south node goes through your sign, this is the time. What did I do here? Is this too many cards? Or what did I do? Did I mix these cards up? Hold on a second. No, oh, yeah, I did. The animal totems, and I go, man, this deck is gigundous. What's going on here? There it goes. Yeah, I stuck some extra cards in there. A whole extra deck in there. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger, right? But the south node, what I was saying, is this is a time of really releasing. Also, it's going to bring up things from the past. People from the past and things are probably going to be showing up. The people and things from the past that are showing up, you got to know that these are karmic situations. These are karmic relationships. These are things that it's not just a mere coincidence. It's not just casual. Even if you never thought, I had some kind of big nodal thing happen a couple of years ago. I can't even remember what it was. But man, oh man, all these people were showing up. And a lot of the people that were showing up were not people that I was really tight with. That's what was so shocking about it. But I knew it had to have meaning because I think it was a nodal thing. But it was mostly people that used to come at my parents' bar that I just knew. They were customers. You know, I never really had a close bond with any of them. But they were popping up everywhere. And I was just like, wow, I have some kind of karmic connection to this person. That's really not shocking. I guess it wouldn't be shocking. Surprising. It was very surprising. But I knew from studying astrology, like, yeah, during this time, people that are showing up, there's more than meets the eye. That's what my guides are saying. Okay, let's get into your cards. We're going to do 3 cards for our Leo, Sun, Rising, Moon peeps. See what we get here. Knight of Pentacles, followed by Queen of Pentacles, followed by 7 of Wands. Okay. Next, I'm going to do 3 more cards from the other deck, which is I just want to call it the Hippy Dippy deck. It's the Flower Child deck. What was that? Hippy Dippy Weatherman or something? What was that? Was that George Carlin or something? I think so. The Hippy Dippy Weatherman. Talk about blasts from the past. I haven't thought about that forever. Alright, let's go ahead and get 3 cards for our Leo, Sun, Rising, Moons from the second deck here. We've got the Sun card. Well, that's your luminary. It's funny, when I looked down, I saw the Sun on the back of this deck, and I was just about to say the Sun is your luminary, and that's the card that pulled. Queen of Wands, that's a representation of you. And then finally, we have one more. We have the Page of Pentacles. Well, you sure got a lot of people. You know, I'm noticing that right away. Overall vibe of this reading here. You've got Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, and Page of Pentacles. So 4 of the 6 cards are court cards, or in other words, cards that represent people. So it's probably going to be a busy social season. Well, Leo, again, you're so social anyway. That's not surprising at all. You're probably going to have some birthday celebrations and different things going on. Here's you right next to the Sun card, the ruler of your card. So don't forget about if your birthday is now, or even, you know, when these nodes and these different events are happening here. This is your time to shine. You are manifesting your future at this time, so be careful what you're manifesting. I mean, you're not one to necessarily mope around a lot or be down in the dumps for too long anyway, there, Leo. But man, are you shining now. And even this, it's a pentacle card, but look at doesn't that just look like it is supposed to be the sun rays, I assume. And even behind here, There's a center circle with all the rays beaming out. That's very prevalent. Even the sunflower she holds, you know. So you are the center of your universe. You are shining. You are glowing. These are the various people. Some of you are going to land some kind of great job or have some kind of big money opportunity show up here. Now, I'm looking at the Queen of Pentacles up here. She's going to be, or they, it could be anybody. They, Knight, and we have the Knight and the Queen. So these are Pentacle people, but her in particular, how she's just holding that pentacle so little and delicate there. It's almost like, so it might be something that shows up and it's just like, oh, this might be a little fun project to do, you know, or, oh, I might like this, or, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Like, you don't think, I feel like you don't see the full magnitude of it. That's what I'm getting when you're entering into it. So don't pass something by also that might seem small. Like it might say, oh, we could say it's a job. Oh, we can use it 1 day a week, or we can use it freelance for now, and we'll see if, you know, we'll see down the road. Because, whoo, you know, it's just like, woo, it's just like whatever this little thing is, it is going to be much bigger down the road here. Much, much, much bigger. And it's just exploding. It's shining. There's news about money coming, and it's because you're the standout. And it's not, this isn't some kind of favor or guilt or any other thing like that. This is, you are in all your glory, shining, and everybody sees you and knows you, and this is it. You know, you get chosen because you are just the big standout. There's a lot of competition here. The Seven of Wands talks about there's a lot of competition. And it might even be, this thing here might be more work than you might think it's worth. That's another thing that I'm picking up here. Like, or maybe they're like, oh, what I'm picking up is something maybe theatrical for some. Like, say your kid's in a, you know, a play or something, or you're in a play and you have a small part. But maybe, you know, somebody, I'm picking up for somebody's in the audience. So maybe it's your kids' play, maybe you design the costumes or help with the stage or do whatever. Or maybe you yourself, it's not unusual for Leos to be on the stage. You know, it's just a small little thing, or you just have a one line, or you just walk on, or you're an extra, you know, or whatever it might be. You have this small part to play, what's seemingly a small part to play. But, and it's probably going to be a lot of work. You're going to have to rearrange your schedule. Like, say, even if it was the thing I said before, we'll use you 1 day a week. Well, I'm going to have to rearrange my schedule. You know, it's not something that isn't going to require you to do some effort. And you might be looking at it and thinking, well, is it really worth all the effort just for that 1 day a week, or that one little walk online, or I'm going to have to, you know, drive across town and get in traffic and blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm here to tell you, Leo, yes, it is. Is it worth it? Yes, it is. Some little thing could just be wow. Or I'm picking up for somebody else too. You may be asked to like do some kind of musical thing, like maybe in an album, or a, you know, or you know, even like I have a friend who's a Leo, who's a backup singer. You know, maybe you're going to sing backups on some song, and you're just like, well, I'll fit it into my schedule. It's not, they don't really have, or maybe they're offering a future royalty, and you're just like, yeah, whatever, of course, yeah, I'll put that in my other future royalties. Like, it's a joke among band people. You're like, yeah, you want to play here for exposure, you know, or you're going to do it for exposure and a few bucks at the end of the night, and you're just like, oh, well, I'll do it anyway. But I keep picking up from that little thing, this huge thing could really come forth and arise. Again, it might just be, if you're not in the arts, it could be a job. Maybe it's just, or we have a volunteer position, or we pay you a little stipend, but then it turns into this whole big thing later on, you know. So don't overlook these little things that these people may be offering. It looks like there's 2 of them, you know, 2 people that might be offering, but this one is really the standout to me. Okay, let's go ahead and get your animal totem for our Leo Sun, Rising, Moon peeps for the month of July. And you got butterflies, see? Yeah. Well, what's the butterfly really all about? You know, it's this little caterpillar, and it's in this little cocoon, and then it comes out, and it's this, just like I was saying, it's not this little thing. It's this huge thing, you know. It's a huge thing of beauty, right? Okay, no longer of the earth you take flight to soar with the angels. Release burdens and embrace the metamorphosis. Dance in joyous recognition of the ever-evolving now. Yeah. Yeah, so just, you know, give it a try. Don't be so quick to say no. Because I feel like even though it's a little bit of a hassle, wow. you know, you're going to be so glad you did. You're so glad you did it at some point here. Okay, let's get Holy HAMSA. Holy HAMSA for Leo, Sun, Rising, Moon. We've got Star. There you go. See, you can't make this stuff up. Baby, you're a star. Might not know it now. Remember that song by Prince? Might not know it now. Might not know it now. 'Cause baby, you're a... What? I'm not going to try to hit that note. Star. I can't hit it. Star. It's way up there. Yeah, but this is it. There you go. This is right along with the lines of what I was saying. And even here's this. It's the floodlights, but it's the same thing with these light beams coming. You know, spotlight, accolades, recognition, getting noticed, a time of victory and triumph. Your star is rising as you step on center stage and take your bow. You have done the work. There you go. And now is your time to reap the rewards of the efforts. It's all lining up. You are getting acknowledged for your talents and abilities. You've got the goods, and now it's time to strut your stuff. Not limited to those in the performing arts. You are a star in your chosen field of endeavor. You may find that you get the job, you passed the test, you got into the school of your choice, you graduated top of your class. Whatever the case, the spotlight is on you, and you are the star of the show. I mean, we couldn't get a more perfect card for this reading, right? All right, let's jump over and get the lots. We're going to start with the lots of love, which may or may not pertain to love. Radiant. There you go. That's it. That's you all day long, Leo. What did I say about these beams of light? You're radiant. You are radiant. And then next we have lots of answers. It says uncertain. Okay. Might not know it now. And finally, the lots of proverbs for Leo. It says all's well that ends well. Yeah. And again, maybe you're trying out for the starring role and you only get the little role. And it's like, well, I don't want that role. Or I wanted the full-time job. I don't want the once a week with the stipend thing. All's well that ends well. You know, don't be so quick to, you know, say no to something, because it's definitely blooming and flourishing into something bigger. And at this time of year, you know, as we move into your season, and we're going to have an eclipse in your sign next month too. You want to get that eclipse reading. We're starting to have, because as the nodes change signs to Aquarius and Leo, that's where the eclipses are going to start happening. So eclipses can, you know, take you to another timeline real quick. You know, you can go from this 0 to 100 real quickly with those eclipses. So, you know, if you want to get that reading, you can head over to my site. But wow, it looks like you have a great month ahead. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to check all your placements, your sun, rising, moon, and hopefully one of them will resonate with you. If you want to get a reading again from me, not only the eclipse reading, but the different readings I offer, all very affordable, by the way. You know, head over to my website where you can choose from many different readings. And if you like this, hit that like, subscribe, all that stuff. That's always really appreciated. Happy birthday one more time, Leo. And next we're going to look at the sign of Virgo. Hello, Virgo. This is going to be your July of 2026. Cards just flew out here. Queen of Wands flew out. This is going to be your July of... Oh, it flew out and came back in. Well, maybe that's how this is going to go. Maybe we're just going to take the cards that are sticking out and flying out. Okay, and then one more for Virgo. There we go. So, you've got the Queen of Wands, the Creator, which is a different... She's got two different cards that aren't in traditional tarot, and this is one of them. And then the Ten of Cups. But I'm just going to kind of read it like I see it. Call it like I sees them, baby. Alright, let's get the bottom row for our Virgo Sun, Rising, Moon, or anybody who resonates with Virgo energy. I just have to readjust my seat a little here. My leg is starting to hurt, my leg and hip from sitting too long. Okay, Virgo Sun, Rising, Moon for the month of July of 2026. What do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3 cards for Virgo. We have the 8 of Wands and the Knight of Cups. And then finally, if I can get it, ooh, the Tower. Well, the Tower is just big change. I mean, the rest of this reading is so fabulous. I mean, so favorable and positive. It's interesting that you've got the 8 of Wands. Everybody else is getting these 4 of Swords, strength, wait, slow down, everything's slowing down. And you're the only one so far who has the 8 of Wands. So that's the complete opposite of that. things are moving quickly. They're coming in. No, you're another one though, Virgo. Mercury is retrograde until the 23rd. Right, yeah, 23rd. So, you know, you are a Mercury ruled sign as well. That is also your Mercury, your ruling planet. Try to get all that out. But boy, it sure looks like something's going on here. You know, somebody's coming in, and it could be just out of the blue with this tower. I feel like you did not see this coming. If you're single, this could be a major, major love interest for you. Because yes, it's the Knight of Cups. Okay, so it could be, there's no gender in these readings, so it could be anyone who could be a water sign, which is Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. It could be talking around the 14th when we have the new moon in Cancer. It could be talking about while we're in Cancer season up until the 22nd. But the Knight of Cups, in its essence, they hold the loving cup. You know, this is a love card. It's the cup suit, the suit of the cups in the tarot, if you're not familiar, is the equivalent of the hearts in the regular playing card. So the cup people and the cup cards are always related to romance, relationships, emotions, you know, these types of things. So, and this is also known as, in the original tarot book with the Rider-Waite-Smith, the arrows of love hitting their mark. And it's pointing right at this person. So for some of you, I started watching, well, it's not Game of Thrones, it's whatever it is. I love all the series of those. But what is it? House of Dragon just started up again. And this reminds me of one of those people. What's their names? Targaryens. Yeah, one of the Targaryens or something. And they write on dragonback, you know, so with the wings and that. But I don't know if that has any kind of meaning for you. Also, because we do have this big moon illuminating in the background, maybe, you know, the new moon in Cancer really could be a time frame for this. But also, the full moon it's a full moon in Aquarius on the 29th. Up here you have the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands is a fire sign energy. Oh, sorry, that's my dog. He's having some problems. He just does that every now and then. It's like his leg hurts. I'm sorry. I gotta give him one of his leg pills. See, he has to get up and walk around. Poor buddy. He's not doing great. But the Queen of Wands is a fire sign, which is Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius. So it could be as we move into the sign of Leo after the 20th, or the nodes move into Leo. Well, the sign moves into Leo on the 22nd, and then the nodes on the 27th. But it's funny, I wanted to point this out, so it might be this time frame too. Fire sign people are passionate. They're very action-oriented, you know. This person may be the one prompting you to go or do something. Like, man, you know, come on, Virgo, let's go to this event, or let's go do this thing, or you should do this. You should sign up for this dating site, or whatever it might be, something. And because with this tower, it's kind of the vibe of, you know, you might not even expect it, or might not see it coming, or, you know, the tower is very disruptive, but it doesn't have to be disruptive in a bad way. This feels like disruptive in a wow, great way, because you also have the Ten of Cups over here. That is known as the marriage card, but it is marriage and family. It is, like I was just saying, the cups are all the, you know, all this, everything to do with love, emotions, happiness, joy. And the Ten of Cups is just like a regular playing deck. It goes 8 through 10. So the Ten of Cups is the most happiness, the most joy, the most love. You know, you're just so loved and fulfilled and joyous, and everything is wonderful, you know. And then the Creator is there too. Now, I'm going to read this as some kind of oversoul spirit guide, or almost as if a high priestess, but she is holding this cat here too. So this could be a Leo, I want to say, for some people. Or again, this Leo energy, backing up what we have here with the fire energy. So as we move into the sign of Leo and we get closer to your sign, you'll be the next one coming up. You know, there's powerful forces at work. And look at here, we have these lightning bolts, and we have these lightning bolts there too. And I mean, there was a bad storm last night that came through here. We've been having a lot of bad storms. This weather has been really crazy. I know a lot of places have. So it could be like that, that could be, here's what I'm getting from it. It could be like your friends going, hey, I want to go to this event, and you're like, oh, it looks like it's going to storm. I don't want to go. Go, 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 go. Go anyway. Maybe you'll be huddling under somewhere out of the rain with somebody else. So everybody will run under a canopy or something, and there it is. The birds are singing. It's the love of your life. If you're not looking for romantic love, this could be any kind of opportunity, but this is the person that's just grabbing me big time. This is the important person. The other thing, though, with the lightning bolts, you could feel like you were struck by lightning, and not in a bad way. In a way, like, you know, people say that when they fall in love. There's like, I felt like I was struck by lightning. You know, I was frozen in my steps. I couldn't move. So it could be something like that too. You know, where you're just dumbfounded, but in the best possible way. Ten of Cups. By the way, I always love this Ten of Cups because I was a single mom with 2 daughters raising my kids. So in the traditional tarot, it's a man and a woman, like a traditional family. But I like that she made this Ten of Cups that way a lot. Okay, let's go ahead and get the animal totem for Virgo Sun, Rising Moon, or anybody who has Virgo in their chart. Goldfish, that's a very lucky symbol. You ever notice when you go to like Asian restaurant, Chinese food, they always have a goldfish pond and stuff because that's supposed to be bring that abundance, right? So it says luck, serenity, prosperity, wealth. Celestial connections, altered states, omens of auspicious development. So that's just confirming that this is good stuff here. This isn't anything, don't be afraid of that tower. You know, we have towers in our lives. That happens, you know. You know, that's how things go. And it's not always a bad thing. You meet somebody and your life changes. This person is going to change your life on whatever level. If it's not romantic, maybe it's related to career, finance. Maybe it's for somebody else. If you have kids, maybe it's for one of your daughters or somebody, and you're worried about them. Are they ever going to find somebody? Well, guess what? They just might. Okay, let's go ahead and get the Holy HAMSA. Holy HAMSA. Luck. So you got 2 cards, meaning, I mean, I mean, I'm not an advocate of play. I mean, I do play. I play numbers. I like to play the pick 3, and I'll play a couple other, sometimes a scratch off. If I hit a pick 3, I'll play some scratch off. But, you know, you might be, this could be hitting some kind of jackpot, too. I mean, I wouldn't go crazy with it. And Virgos, usually you're not going to go crazy with it anyway. You guys are pretty frugal. You're one of the most frugal signs of the Zodiac. But when you get the Tower with 2 luck cards right next to it, it could be life-changing. But it could also just be this divine synchronicity. Maybe it's so lucky that you went to that event and you met this person, you know. But you got the luck card, which, again, it's lucky 13. I did that intentionally. I made it card number 13. You know, and it is associated with luck. Or you could even substitute luck for synchronicity, basically. Okay, take a look at the card. If anything stands out to you, then pay attention to that. And here's what we got. Chance, fortune, synchronicity. Those are the keywords. Take a chance. Roll the dice. Lady Luck is on your side. There are times in our life when everything we touch turns to gold. Riding the wave of synchronicities, one thing after another, falling into place like magic. These could be one of those times when you just can't lose. You're on a roll. The luck card is not limited to gambling by any means. You may be smiled upon in any area of life. The world is full of ups and downs. Just know that your stock is on the rise when this card is drawn. Yeah. So wow, you got a nice reading here. Maybe it could, I mean, it could be something like that. But this could be, you know, lucky that you met that person. It doesn't always have to be necessarily. And look, see, I even put goldfish on the card because it is a symbol of good luck. And there's the goldfish right there. Okay, let's go ahead and get your lots of love, which may or may not pertain to love. For Virgo, we have soulmate. See this stuff? This is a soulmate. Again, but our soulmates are not only our romantic entanglements, but it's sure looking like it. And if this doesn't resonate, then check your other placements. Your rising moon, Venus, whatever you usually check. Okay, next. It says eventually. And then finally, the lots of Proverbs for Virgo peeps for the month of July 2026. We have, let sleeping dogs lie. Well, that just means don't go back to the old stuff anymore. You know, the South Node has been in your sign for a while. That's one of the things I forgot to mention. The South Node has been in your sign for a couple of years now, and it's on the 27th it's moving out, and the South Node will be in Leo. So you've just come through a time frame, and you've had eclipses in your sign. I think there's one more eclipse for you next year. But, you know, it's a time when you've had to let things go. So maybe you let things go and you said, well, that's it. I'm never getting involved again. No more relationships for me. I'm done. Well, the minute you say that, the universe says, oh yeah, hold my beer. And they're going to throw somebody in your path, boy. Something's coming, and this is wonderful. So it's nothing to be shy, you know, put away or shied away from, okay? It looks like really wonderful energy for you, Virgo. All right, Virgos, well, if you want to get in on the solstice reading or any, not solstice is over, sorry. The eclipse reading is my new special for the next month. And it's not in your sign, but it is in, the lunar eclipse will be in Pisces, your opposite sign. So you're kind of involved. And it's happening in your season. It's August 28th when the sun will be in your season. But I have various readings. But always remember, just to go to my website, don't be fooled by the imposters out there. And next we're going to take a look at the sign of Libra. Hello Libra, thanks for tuning in. This is going to be your July of 2026 reading for all Libra, Sun, Rising, Moon. Anybody who wants to watch, if it's Venus you look at or your North Node, whatever resonates with you, and hopefully you'll be getting a message. This is for July of 2026. The first 3 cards for our Libra friends are Nine of Cups, the Wish card. Well, there's a good one to start it off. Followed by Page of Swords. Could be a representation of you at a younger age. And then finally the Creator card again. That was just out in the other reading. This is one of the extra cards in the deck. Right away what I notice is the two, they both are holding cats. You notice that. So maybe it's something to do with any of you have a cat. Or it could be some connection. But let's get the rest of the cards before we dive in all the way. 3 more cards for our Libra, Sun, Rising, Moon. Let's see what we have here. 1, 2, 3. We have the King of Pentacles, followed by, if I can get it out of here, the Temperance card, and then finally the 6 of Swords. Moving on. Moving on, baby, well, we're gonna touch the ground. Oh. Bad Company, moving on, Bad Co. Well, your wish is coming true and you're going to be able to move on. It's going to be different, I suppose, for everybody, depending on the situation. It does feel like there is some money involved because we do have the King of Pentacles here. And the King of Pentacles is the money man, or the money person. But he is the highest of the suit of the Pentacles. They are. It could be some kind of earth sign event, although we're not having any big earth sign events this month. We will be next month as we move into the sign of Virgo at the end of August. But I feel like in most cases this is just a representation of the person who has the money and has the power here. Page of Swords, news coming along with air energy. So we do have, well, one of the things, Mercury is air ruled. That's an air planet. And that'll be going direct on the 23rd. But right away what I thought of was the 29th. We have the full moon in Aquarius. So it could be something on or around that 29th. Boy, these tails are just like 2 bookends, too. The cats are facing in and the tails outward. And even this, I mean, it's the water from the Temperance card. It just feels like, and even this rainbow here, there's this similarity of this, almost like a snake-like energy, but it might be a snake for some people, or some of you, you know what this really reminds me of? When you do like roving, you like do, you do hemp roving, or you're going to make yarn, or you're going to spin yarn, or spin, you know, threads, or whatever it is. Like at some point, or even pulling taffy, and it looks like a little bit too. Like maybe you're going to go to a festival where they're pulling taffy. But boy, is these shapes here are really, especially this one, that shape is really grabbing me. So, you know, take it as it resonates and allow that to happen as well. If these different images or shapes catch your attention, then often, you know, it's something good. You know, it's something, well, it's something important to you, not necessarily good or bad. It's just something that you need to pay attention to. If this, now, the more I look at it, this looks like the pulling taffy thing. So maybe you're going to travel to some kind of state fair or carnival where they would be doing this kind of a thing. And the King of Pentacles could be there. Or maybe the King of Pentacles is offering you a job at one of these types of things. The other thing that gets me too is like, this is the storm. There's the storm clouds here. But then there's this, the clouds are parting, and then there's the rainbow after the storm. And even in the behind her head here, this Creator card, she's got the rainbow colors behind her, and it's to some extent here too. But it feels like, you know, or after, you know, after the storm, then the rainbow, or somewhere over the rainbow, or your lucky pot of gold over the rainbow. But I also want to tie it really strongly to after the storm. So some of you have been through some storms, or some stormy weather, or some stormy situation. And now the road is clearing, the path is opening. See, it's almost like this is the trail that you've, well, it is the trail, it's like the wake of the boat. That's what he's left behind. This one he's actually rowing backwards, it looks like. The boat is coming, this would be the front of the boat. But the way I saw it was he's going this way, you know, and the swords are behind him. That's traditionally the way. Maybe the boat's backwards by accident or something, or maybe it's on purpose, but what I feel like this is all the, you know, all the stuff that he left behind. The bile. It almost reminds me of bile. Or even, you know, the tears, or, you know, the nastiness. Like it's almost, it reminds me of sort of like the bad stuff that's been left behind. And now you're moving forward, and that's, none of that is up there. You're moving towards the rainbow, and the water's clear. And, you know, it just feels like you're transitioning into this wonderful phase. You know, the thing about this one too, often this cloaked figure can be like your spirit guides and angels are steering the boat. And because the Temperance card is so close by, it has that feeling as well. Like, you know, you've let go of a lot. You've let go of ego. This storm has kind of just like took it out of you or knocked it out of you. And you've let go of it, and you're moving towards, you know, you're working with your spirit guides and angels. You're not forcing your will. You're not trying to force or make it happen. You're just going on to the greener pastures. You're moving on to the beautiful future that awaits you, you know. You've come through the portal, and you're moving towards the future. This is the Nine of Cups, and so you do have that wish card here. So if you tuned into this reading thinking, well, I wonder if I can get any insights into this or that, your wish card being there does say yes, your wish is coming true. Page of Swords, again, is the news coming in air, but Page of Swords can also be out of the mouths of babes. So if you're around children, because sometimes kids, you know, kids say the darndest things. That used to be a TV show. I think it still is, maybe. Or what was the other one? Was that with, I'm thinking of the old school one. Was it Alan Funt or somebody? Or he did Candid Camera, but he also did something with kids. And I think they've revamped that show. I think I've seen it advertised or something. But kids do say the darndest thing. You know why? Because kids are still connected to spirit. They're not fully indoctrinated into the real world, so to speak. You know, they're not fully indoctrinated into their earthly incarnation. They're still connected to the spirit realm, and they're still, you know, they do come up with things. And it's because there's no preconceived notions or negativity. It's just this, you know, pure, you know, there's a purity to it. It could also be, because this is a representation of you perhaps as a child, this could also be, you know, something, your childhood dream, or somebody that you knew as a child, or something that happened as a child that could all of a sudden be coming around again and becoming into. The Nine of Cups is very much a card of being in the present moment too. It's right here, right now. Right here, right now. There is no other place I want to be. If you've never been here, I do break into song because my guides send me songs all the time. Because I've been communicating with spirit through music much longer than I have through tarot and stuff too. So, because I am a musician and I write and, you know, I channel music basically. I mean, I've been doing it for decades. I just never called it that. But that's just an I don't know, an avenue that's already opened for me. You know, a channel, a means of communication. All right, let's go ahead and get the animal totem for Libra. For July, you have the frog. And that is the card of leaping forward by leaps and bounds. Rainmaker, alchemist, clairaudient, fertility, transformation, metamorphosis, safe passage into the netherworld. The final stages of growth, you have arrived. Yeah, you've arrived, or you're about to. You're on your way. I'm on my way, I'm making it big time, big time. Dun, 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 dun. Big time. I'm gonna let it show, yeah. So you're going to the big time. Yeah. Gonna be a big star someday. What is that? That's from another song. But I'm not gonna try to remember and sing. I think I've sang enough in your reading here, Libra. Let's get the Holy HAMSA for our Libra Sun, Rising, Moon peeps. Sound healing. See, maybe that's why I've been singing. So many songs are coming through, because you're in need of a sound healing. You can even go, they have like sound baths and things like that. Those are pretty Some are pretty cool. Some of them are pretty annoying, though. I have to admit. Or you can even find them on YouTube and just turn it on. It's better if you're there actually in the room, because there is a vibratory resonance, you know. But you don't even have to. You could do it yourself, okay? Vibes, resonance, acoustics. We are all immersed in a sonic field of energy. Sound has the ability to soothe a baby to sleep or break a glass. There is a field of frequency surrounding us all. Tend to your field and your sacred space. Create a resonance of peace and solace so that your divine manifestation may flourish. You may be in the need of a sound bath or immersion experience. That's what I was talking about. Whether a ceremony performed by a practitioner or something more personal in your own living space. Drums, chimes, singing bowl, all may be conduits for raising vibrational frequencies of your surroundings. Just because of that, I have my little bell here. I don't always use it. I mean to use it on every reading, but I always forget. All right, let's go ahead and... Oh, darn it. A whole bunch of these are falling out everywhere. Oh, I'm going to pick them up after this reading. But let's just get you lots of love. There's too many to use. There's probably 10 of them on the ground. Lots of love. It says fun. Yeah, have some fun. That's always a good thing. Go to the carnival or the state fair. Go get some saltwater taffy. Okay, let's see here. Next we have lots of answers. It says someday. Someday we'll be together. Yes, we will. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Yeah, so that just means a lot of different things. You know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder basically is, you know, don't look to others for approval, you know. Or, you know, if you can't understand somebody else's choices, then don't worry about it, because it's not for you. So maybe they're doing something, or they think something's beautiful, and you're just like, ooh, that's ghastly. I've had that happen a lot, especially on social media. People showing off something off. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that is ghastly. But it's not ghastly to them. They think it's wonderful. Or if people are saying, oh, why are you doing this, or why do you like that person, or why, screw them. As long as you think it's beautiful, because it's not for them, because it's not in their resonance frequency, what we're talking about here. So don't worry about that stuff, Libra. Hey Libra, I hope you got something out of the reading. If you didn't, you may want to check your sun, rising, moon, your other placements. Or I do have other readings on my website, but also on my Rock and Roll Prophetess channel, based on various special topics throughout the month. If you want to get a personal reading from me, including maybe the eclipse reading that I'm offering, you got to do that always through the website, VickiReilly.com. Don't be fooled by those imposters. Please like, hype, share, all that good stuff. Next, we're going to look at Scorpio. Hey Scorpio, this is going to be your July of 2026 Psychic Tarot. You know, a lot of energy's happening. It's affecting everybody. You know, this shift with Jupiter into Leo, it's fire, but it's also your 10th house. So could be major career things happening. I mentioned in the last one of the readings recently that, you know, the Jupiter reading, you know, when Jupiter was in Leo the last time for me is when this whole YouTube thing unfolded for me, you know, was really started to take off. So, and I didn't really see it coming. I wasn't trying for it. There was nobody out there coaching or any of that stuff that they have going on now. It just happened naturally. You know, now I'm having, music has really made a big entrance back into my life. You know, I thought I was booking gigs, playing in nursing homes in the day, playing oldies for the nursing home people. And then out of nowhere, some pretty cool musical opportunities have shown up for me lately, you know. I just thought, well, I'm in my 60s now. That's, you know, those days are over for me. I can still jam and go to, you know, play music with friends and maybe do a few little gigs here and there. But, you know, things are happening. So it should be happening for you as well, right? Let's take a look, though. Scorpio. 3 cards for Scorpio. We have the 8 of Cups, the Mother Star. Well, these special cards keep coming out. She has 2 special cards that are not in the traditional tarot. You got the one of them. The other one's been out a couple times. And the World. All right. Don't want to offend anybody. Okay, so I refuse to scribble on these cards and ruin the artwork. I just won't do it. Talk about ghastly. There you go, right there. Talk about something that's ghastly. That was in Libra's reading. Yeah, I think scribbling all over the tarot cards is ghastly. All right, let's go ahead and get 3 cards. 3 more cards for Scorpio. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. We got 10 of Cups with the rat again. Here we are. That's a good one. And then the King of Pentacles. Man, he's been out. King of Pentacles has been out a lot. And we're not in Earth sign time, but boy, is that King of Pentacles been out. And finally the 5 of Cups. Well, you know, something from the past is coming around and coming back in a big way. It's interesting that I just told my little story about how music is suddenly back in my life in a big way. Because that could be something like that. 5 of Cups is just like, well, I missed out on it. It's over. I missed out on it. End of story. Well, it wasn't the end of story. There's still full cups there. For some of you, it could be a relationship, and it could be a relationship with this King of Pentacles. If you're, you know, if that's your area of focus, if you're more looking for love oriented. But the King of Pentacles also is the money man, so it could be, you know, more money, finance, you know, tied in as well. But it does feel like the King of Pentacles is either part of, well, it looks behind her, so like the past, right? But it could also be what this full cups represent. This person is bringing that in. My guide said he's bringing back sexy. Okay, he's sexy and I know it. The World is a big wrap up and completion, but the World is also a card of just attainment, major attainment. Let's see what she calls it. She has keywords on these cards. Reward, success, completion. Yeah, basically that's it. The World, I read the World to be too bigger than you ever thought it could be, you know. Now this 8 of Cups has this crazy octopus on it. Now I'm hearing that octopus is garden in the sea. I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden with you. So the octopus is there. The traditional 8 of Cups is that moving on. You know, leaving the past behind and moving forward. The Mother Star is here. Now, I don't really know the meaning of this. I don't have the book here handy. I always forget that there's those extra cards. But boy, does it feels really powerful, doesn't it? And it feels like it's a higher spiritual spirit guide. It also feels like, I almost want to use the word the mother ship or the mother load. Like you hit the mother load. It definitely feels higher, bigger, more than, you know, your everyday life, you know, and especially because the World is right next to it too. Maybe I should cover another part of her body so nobody freaks out. I love the 10 of Cups being here. I mean, 10 of Cups is the card of the great happiness and the great joy, dancing, the celebration. I mean, some of you, this could be a relationship for sure, and you might end up marrying this person for real. But also, the 10 of Cups, you can be happy and joyous about a lot of things. It doesn't necessarily only have to pertain to love. I mean, he does bring the money. So you could be like getting, you know, getting that big money that you were hoping for. The King of Pentacles could be saying, you know, you got the job, you got the raise, you got the loan. Or I want to date you. I think you're great. You know, I'm attracted to you. You know, whatever it is, the King of Pentacles is definitely giving you a big, major boost. And it's going to put you in that state, in that 10 of Cups state. And that 10 of Cups state is happiness, bliss, all of the above. Something really big is happening here. I think it was Leo had a similar thing where they were starting out small, but there's something really big. And it can be ties to the past. Or maybe you tried to get a job at that company before and you were turned down. Or maybe you were even trying for, you know, some kind of disability or workman's comp and you got turned down. There's still hope. There's still hope in a situation. And here's the other thing. Now, Mercury retrograde in general is kind of, you know, a negative, not the best time for all this stuff. But it's not a bad time for things from the past. And that's what the 5 of Cups is talking about here. Then the Mother Star, you know, or for some of you, if your mother has passed on the other side, or even grandmother, I feel like this is a higher spiritual force that is guiding and helping to facilitate and really makes a lot of this stuff happen for you. It looks pretty good there. Okay, let's get our animal totem for Scorpio Sun Rising Moon peeps. And of course, again, this is for the month of... Is that an ant up there? I've had these black ants. Raccoon. I can't even see even with these glasses on. It is. There is a freaking ant, like, crawling almost all the way to my ceiling. I have really high ceilings. Oh boy. Well, ant is hard work. Okay, the raccoon. Masked marauder in the night. Resourceful, curious, tactile, resilient. Ceremony, rituals. The shaman's journey. Paying meticulous attention to hygiene and diet. Okay, we'll take that as it resonates. The thing about the raccoon for me always is the mask. You know, they're behind that mask. They're nocturnal for the most part. So there's something like hidden in the dark or hidden behind the mask. But I feel like it could be an opportunity that you don't see because you're here, you know, and that something big is going to come out of it. All right, let me shuffle up our Holy HAMSA, my Holy HAMSA deck, and you've got the Earth energy. Well, that's double Earth. See, here's what I did with the Earth, the elements. I didn't put any. You know, I don't do Knight, King, Queen, Page. You know, I think that's kind of overkill. So I just did one for each element. So this is the Earth card. Earth's keywords: grounding, practical, stability, building on solid foundations, financial growth and stability. Gaia the Great Mother provides nourishment to all her inhabitants. Ground yourself in the field of the earth to promote the overall sense of well-being. The Earth card is calling you to take a practical approach in all your endeavors at this time. In astrology, the earth signs are the Taurus, the Capricorn, and Virgo. The card may represent people born under this sign or as a timing card when the sun or moon reaches that sign. As I already said, there's no big events happening in earth sign. I mean, we will have earth sign moons throughout the month. You always do. But it's interesting. It does feel like financial opportunities. It does feel like this person has the power or is bringing in or facilitating great happiness. Where you felt disappointment, sadness, it's turning into your sadness is turning into gladness. That's what they want me to say. All right, I'm going to jump over because we're going to get the lots of love, whether it pertains to love or not. Teacher. Well, that could be in a lot of different areas. This could be the teacher. This could be the teacher. You could be the teacher. Maybe there's a teaching opportunity for you. But, you know, many times our soulmate relationships, pretty much all of them, they're there to teach us. That's what they're there for. We're meant to learn through our relationships. And then it says, for the yes or no, it says plainly. So that's a yes. And then lastly, for the lots of proverb, here's one. It says, it's never too late to be who you might have been. See, that's interesting. Again, for me, personally, that I told that story, I thought, well, my music stuff's over. I thought that for a while. I thought that was over in the 80s when I had my kids. I was like, well, music, that's over. But I had big little resurgences here and there, you know, through YouTube. And I have music channels and stuff on YouTube, too, my children's music and different things. But, you know, and here I'm in my 60s and something's come up again. And who would have thunk it, you know? I thought, well, this is it. This is the end. This is how it all ends up. I'm playing oldies in the nursing home. This is it, huh? This is how my musical career winds up at the end. And turns out maybe it's not, you know. So, and again, I'm in my 60s. I'm 63. I'll be 64 in December. So, it's never too late to be who you might have been. All right, everybody. Well, hey, Scorpio, if you want to get in on the eclipse reading, we'll dive into a bunch of stuff. And I have other readings on my website, all very affordable, by the way. Check it out if you're interested. Please do like, hype, share, all that good stuff, because that helps me maintain this channel and keep doing the readings for you every month. I do have other readings during the week. During the month, shorter ones. So check out my channel if you haven't already. And then next we're going to look at the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you such a crazy pants. All right, Sagittarius, this is going to be for Sun, Rising, Moon. Anybody who has prominent Sag in their chart, this is for you. Hopefully you get a message. Oh, he just fell over. Put our little squirrel up there. Squirrely Verly. So I've heard that a million times in my life. Okay, I'm shuffling the wrong deck, but not the wrong deck, but I want to do this one first. Okay, this is for Sagittarius, Sun, Rising, Moon, peeps. Anybody who has prominent Sag in their chart. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now King of Pentacles. There he is again. That King of Pentacles, I'm telling you. Three of Cups, nice. And finally, Six of Swords, okay? Next, we're going to take a look at the bottom row from the second deck. Shuffle this up. Three more cards for Sagittarius, Sun, Rising, Moon. Here we go. Temperance. Next we have, let's get her covered up so nobody freaks out, the Empress. And finally, the Chariot. You know, it's the bottom row are all three major arcana too. So when we have three major arcana, we have, it talks about higher forces being at work. You're being led, you're being guided. Surrender to your higher self, you know, your higher knowledge. The Six of Swords here talks about you're moving on to a different place, but as I mentioned in one of the other readings, often the Six of Swords is somebody else is steering the boat, you know, because there's a passenger. It might be the Eight of Cups, but that's what I want to talk about because of all the major arcana. And, you know, well, I think almost all the cards have wings on here, but there's this angelic presence kind of thing happening, this higher realm, angelic sort of presence here. So there's this angelic thing, you're moving on to the higher realms, it's a time to allow this information in. Don't be so, I mean, you're pretty free-spirited and easygoing for the most part anyway, Sag, but this isn't the time to try to force any kind of agenda or anything like that. This is the time to really go with the flow. If there's traveling, because when you have the Chariot and the Six of Swords, these are both journey cards or can represent traveling. You know, you may be going to a wedding. Three of Cups is some sort of celebration. It could be a wedding. It could be a lot of different things. And it's going to be a good time. Now, Mercury is retrograde until the 23rd. I mean, if it's a wedding, of course you can't. What are you going to do? Tell them not to get married, you know? But the other thing I was going to mention, if you're looking into getting another car, sometimes when you have these two, you know, journey cards that could talk about, you know, getting a new car, a new automobile, or something like that. You know, you might not want to do that until after the Mercury retrograde is over. But yeah, Three of Cups says there's going to be a reason for celebration, happiness, joy. This sometimes can be a holiday, so it could be July 4th here in the States is a big holiday. I mentioned at the beginning, watch out for that July 4th because there's that Mars-Uranus conjunction. I came upon that when I was doing the Patreon reading this. It's like, oh boy, you know, I don't know about that one. That's going to be intense, you know, so just be careful around there. But this overall, this is a very joyous and happy reading. Your universe is working with you, and you are the Empress, so you are fully in your glory. You are fully abundant. You don't have to chase anything. Allow things to come to you. Allow the abundance that the universe is offering to unfold. That's what I want to tell you. The King of Pentacles is somebody very favorable and maybe be a part of it and brought to you through your spirit guides. So the King of Pentacles, that's an earth sign energy, a Taurus, a Capricorn, or Virgo. They're also somebody who's very grounded. The Empress is a very grounding energy too. Being grounded, being in the earth, settled, satisfied, being in a place of, you know, just standing on solid ground and making sure that you're not, you know, that you are standing on solid ground, taking that time to get grounded, go out and stand in the earth with your bare feet and things like that. Okay, let's go ahead and get the animal totem for our Sagittarius. Sagittarius! Yeah, the turtle, which is also very earth connected. It's, you know, North America is Turtle Island, you know, and it represents the earth. Well, they're actually of earth and water both. But Gaia, Pachamama, Great Mother. Well, Empress, you could call the Empress the Great Mother as well. Ancient remnant of a bygone era. Knowledge of the ancestors. Deliberate and slow and steady movement. You know, I didn't think of it, but, you know, the Three of Cups sometimes is like a baby or wedding shower. And Empress can be pregnancy, too. So somebody might be being pregnant, and you might be having, you know, going to a baby shower, wedding shower, or just everybody's happy because somebody's pregnant. Baby's coming. Okay, new member of the family. All right, let's go ahead and get the Holy HAMSA deck. Holy HAMSA for our Sagittarius friends. Space. You know, this card, when I was looking at, well, actually both of these have the space star, well, all of them. Maybe a lot of the cards do, and I just hadn't noticed it. Excuse me, but I was looking at this, and the stars were standing out to me, and then you ended up getting the space card. This is my Holy HAMSA deck. This is a hand-drawn, no AI deck that I drew completely by hand, and old school. And let's see, it's card number 46. If you want to stop the video and zoom in on, look at some of these background words and see if any of those stand out to you, you may be able to get a message through that. But here we go. Space. Keywords: future, stargazer, transcend. Blasting off, exploring new territories. The space card is inviting you to look beyond the mundane existence of the Earth plane. We are but one of a billion galaxies in the known universe, a mind-boggling fact indeed. There is so much more than we mere mortals can even comprehend. Yeah, your spirit guides can see everything. The night sky brings a sense of peace and wonderment as we bask in its vastness. You may have an affinity with or sense the presence of a higher expression of consciousness, perhaps otherworldly. Yeah. On a more down-to-earth level, the space card may indicate an interest in astronomy, astrology, or even astrophysics. This card can also be a message of breaking free from a limiting situation and blasting off into new possibilities that have never been explored before. Well, this is too, going off into exploring, going in a new direction. It feels really tied to that card. Okay, let me pull them lots, and we're going to get lots of love, whether it pertains to love or not. For Sagittarius, it says attraction. So you're attracted, follow what you're attracted to. What you're attracted to is what your guides and angels are, putting there for you. It's not random. You don't have to deny yourself. Okay, let's see here. Positive. So that's a yes. One more thing I want to mention before we do the last thing. You have the two journey cards, and the other thing with the turtle can be journey travel too, or moving, because they move around with their house on their back. Or maybe some of you are ready to just hit the road. Maybe you're going to go on a tour, or maybe you're going to get one of those, RVs and just go drive around and do camping, that kind of thing. Could be because he takes us home with him everywhere he goes. All right, last card we have, or the last poll we have is work smart, not hard. Well, that's kind of, what do they call it? Digital nomads. It could be one of those digital nomad situations for somebody too, where you are just traveling around and you work when you wanna, and you don't have to punch a time card. Those kind of things. That's what a lot of people, I think everybody would like not to punch a time card, right? But I'll tell you what, sometimes being self-employed is a lot more. At least when you punch a time card, at the end of the day, you're done. Sometimes when you're self-employed, it's always ongoing. So, it works for some, different strokes for different folks. That's what my guides are saying. Different strokes for different folks. So on and so on. Doobie doobie doobie. Yeah. Ooh, sha-la. Alright, so, hey Sagittarius, I hope you enjoyed the reading and got something out of it. If you did, you can check out the other readings for other signs, or check out my other readings on my channel, or get a personal reading. They're always available through my website, VickyBurley.com. I do have this special eclipse reading, which will be available for a limited time. Without further ado, let's move over to the sign of Capricorn. And so on and so on. I still got that song in my head. And doobie. Alright, Capricorn, let me start to shuffle here for your July reading for Capricorn, Sun, Rising, Moon. Anybody who has prominent Capricorn in their chart. Let's see what we come up with here for our caps for July 2026. I think that cut in that same, I want to give it a little more shuffle. I think because it's like they cut in that same place. I want to make sure everything's really shuffled in there. Okay, let's try it again. Capricorn. Alright, let's see if we get some different cards this time. Nope. Three of Cups, same card as from last time. But it's a good one. At least it's a good one. At least we're not getting, bad ones over and over again. And then the Mother Star, that was also out, I don't know if it was last one, but recently. And then Five of Pentacles. Okay. And so on and so on. Scooby-Dooby-Dooby. Alright, let's shuffle up the second deck for the bottom row for our Capricorns for July of 2026. Sun, Rising, Moon, anybody who has Capricorn in their chart. Okay, let's see here. We get 1, 2, and 3. We've got the Strength card. Let's have strength and have patience. Next we have Five of Pentacles. Got Five of Pentacles twice, Capricorn. And then finally we have the Page of Swords. Well, Five of Pentacles, that's a card of feeling not worthy, or feeling like you don't have enough, or that you're struggling, or really what I feel is like you're cast out. You know what I'm really picking up here for somebody or some people here? This feels like a clique almost, but it feels like it's a group maybe within a family or kind of a clique. Usually I don't read the Three of Cups that way, and I really like this Three of Cups in this deck. It's like the Ten of Cups is the mother and the two girls, it feels like, you know. And it reminds me of, well, the Three of Cups always reminds me of me and my two kids and my daughters. But I want to say, since somebody's passed on, you've kind of been not included. Like they were the one that it was the mother, the matriarch. They were the one that always included you or made you part of it, and now, or maybe like they passed away and these people are planning the estate and planning the funeral and not. I feel like you're being shut out from something over here with these three here, and it's not fun. You don't like it, you know. And it was different when the mother star was there. And I feel like this is a matriarch that is passed on in spirit. Or it could even be a work situation. When this person was the CEO or the boss or the supervisor, then things were cool, but they're gone now, and then there's this clique going on over here, and they're shutting you out. But they're saying have strength and have patience. This isn't going to be the case forever. You know, things are changing. It might be some financial woes that you have. Maybe your kids are you're getting married, your kids are getting married, or there's a big party that you have to pay for and plan, and you don't have the money for it. You know, it could be like that. But whatever this is, where you feel this lack, it feels like it's very much these are juxtaposed to this. You know, and that would be the case anyway, because this is great happiness and joy, and this is feeling locked out. And let's read the keywords that she wrote on here. It says struggle, hardship, loss. And the keyword she has on here is family, friends, joy, abundance. Yeah. So it is. It's very much a paradox. It's the opposite, you know. But the strength card is here and has strength and patience. And for some, maybe you could take solace in your pet. You know, there's a pet on here too or something. But this one feels like she does look a little sad, doesn't she? When I'm sad, he comes to me with 1,000 smiles. He gives to me free. Yeah, so it's alright, he said. Take anything you want from me. Yeah, it feels like too that maybe there's a set of, you know, some kind of estate, and they're taking all the stuff and you're locked out. Hopefully that's not the case. It's not going to be like that forever anyway, though. You know, and take solace. Don't don't try to force your way in there. It doesn't look like you're doing that anyway. It looks like you're more hurt than angry. You know, you're just more hurt. You feel left out. You may be stepping into the energy of the Mother Star too. Again, I don't really know what this card means. I don't have the booklet with me. These are 2 extra cards that she put in the deck, which is cool. I like it. But it's almost like, for some, I feel it could be like an ugly duckling scenario. You know, you just don't fit in with that clique because you're so much more than that. You know, like you're not a duckling, you're a swan. You know, it could be something like that too. And that's usually the case. It doesn't have to be one's higher or better than the other, but it's just you're different. So maybe you don't fit in with them. It doesn't mean that that's small. They're small or petty. But that's the vibe I'm getting, really, though. They are small and petty, but it doesn't have to be that. It's just that you don't fit into the group anymore. And maybe it's a time frame when so you don't fit into this group, so where do I fit in? Where am I? I feel alone. You know, I feel like I'm alone. I'm hearing you're never alone. There's a song, too, with that, and I'm not quite getting it. Well, you are never alone because you do have these spirit guides and angels. But there's news coming, and hang in there because news is coming, and that's going to be a change of that. That's when you're the butterfly. That's when you're going to become not the ugly duckling, but the swan. Or not the ugly caterpillar, but the swan. Or the ugly whatever's inside of the thing that they go into, the cocoon. You know, you're going to come. This is like the cocoon stage, and you're going to come out and be the butterfly. You got to follow your own true song. You got to follow your own true soul's path. don't make yourself small to fit into these kind of things, you know, because you're bigger than that. I really feel like that this is too small of a container to house all that you are. Now, Page of Swords can be air sign energy, so the 29th, that could be that full moon in Aquarius. So by the end of the month, you're going to see the path. So this path isn't for you anymore. Don't well, because Capricorn, you are ruled by Saturn, and you can get in the depression. I mean, I'm a Capricorn too, and I definitely have, you know, had bouts with depression myself. Well, I'm more of a, what I'll just do is I will, like, talk about cocoon. I'll just go be by myself and heal. And I do have a dog too, but you're about to burst forth with something here. Don't think of, oh, I was rejected. Don't think of it as negative. It's just I was pushed out of something that I'm no longer, like the caterpillar can't stay with the butterfly can't stay with the caterpillars, you know, because now they're a butterfly. You know, you don't fit into that vessel anymore. And this mother star is so, it's just grabbing me so strong. Like, it's an energy that you can identify with, that you can align with. It's your higher self, but it's also like a spirit guide, and it's so powerful. It's so much more powerful than whatever this petty stuff is over here. It could be a job too. Maybe they're being really, like the water cooler, you know, the clique at work, or even school. And so maybe you'll be graduating and you're getting the F out of there, you know, or maybe you're going to go to a different school, or maybe you've been looking for another job because you don't want to be in that, you know. This feels, normally, again, the Three of Cups is such a good card, but in this particular context, in this reading, it feels like a very low vibration. So that's why I don't put cards in reverse or upright anymore, even though in my book I do give reverse interpretations, because it's just how it strikes me in the reading. You know, again, normally this is one of the best cards, but it's really striking me as just petty, gossipy, cliquey, you know, juvenile, very juvenile, okay? You've got something more to do here, Capricorn. You don't have time for this petty bullshit, basically, right? Okay, let's get your animal totem for Capricorn, Sun, Rising, Moon. Let's see what we got here. The ant. And that, was that you when I had the ant by my ceiling? It was recently. There was an ant crawling way up on my wall near the ceiling. I've been having problems with these ants. I could put out some of those little traps for them, or poison things. But there has been, I have been inundated with some ants around here. Not inundated, but I've been seeing them around. But never up that high on the ceiling like that. Usually on the ground or around the sink and stuff, you know. But anyway, so you got the ant. Be working hard. Hey, Capricorn, hello, working hard. That's, you know, that's right in you. That's you all day long, right? Working tirelessly for the good of all, connecting with the community and knowing our place in it. You can move mountains and make miracles happen. Yeah. Well, I really feel like it's more of a just waiting, and Mercury's retrograde and all this stuff, just waiting probably more towards the end of the month. There's going to be an opening. Maybe it's a job opening, but it's an opening for you to not have to be around this energy anymore, to escape it, and not having to be made to feel less than by anybody. Well, you know, nobody can make you feel less than, you know, but it's hard. It's hard when you have to be around people all the time, and they're doing this stuff, you know. And sometimes you don't have a choice. You have to deal with them. Okay, this one flipped out and it says attract. Yeah, well, that's it. That's everything. You know, you got to attract what you do want. So don't wallow. Try to pull yourself out of, you know, the boo-hoos or the depression. I know that's easier said than done at times. But, you know, just look forward to the future and just realize it's just not for you. It's just not for you. Okay? All right, here's what the keywords for this card. It is beckon, involve, magnetism. The law of attraction is at work in your life. We are all powerful attractors, creating our reality with every thought, action, and deed. Be mindful and deliberate in what you are sending out, for it will return back to you threefold. Your energetic frequency determines what you attract into your field of resonance. Dial into the highest frequency available to you at any given moment, and all will be fine. Tuning in, all the while fine-tuning what to do or, okay, hold on a second. All the while fine-tuning what you do or do not want in your field. Staying aware of the subtle magnetized Subtleties magnetizes our best life talk. Because my guides are coming through with stuff and I'm trying to read. Now, what do they want me to say? Oh, dial into the highest frequency available at your time. Yeah, you're not just going to jump from here to ecstatic, but you can jump to the next best thing. You know, you can pull yourself out of, you know, little by little. You know, just always try to keep going little by little. The best that's available to you at this time. So maybe, you know, maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's not, you know, being overjoyed isn't really available to you when you're kind of bummed out, you know. Also, you know I'm a big believer in you got to feel your feelings, you know. You got to feel your feelings. You don't have to wallow in them, but you got to feel them, you know. And I don't feel like it's always good to like just take drugs to not feel your feelings. And I'm not even talking about, you know, recreational drugs. I'm talking about all these psychoactive drugs that people take. I know for some people it's really helpful. But, you know, I've always steered away from that. I try to just, you know, work through it and get through it. Because it's not healing you, it's just suppressing. It's just suppressing. You know, I'm not, you know, if it works for you, go for it. I'm not trying to judge anybody here. But for me personally, I don't take any drugs like that. I won't take them. And I've had bouts with anxiety. And honestly, all I do is just take, you know, a CBD gummy now if I get anxiety. And it takes it right away. So there you go. But I know that's probably whatever. I don't want to get into any debates or arguments with anybody about anything like that. You make your own choices. But let's get you lots of love. Let's see what we got here. It says bitter. Yeah. There's that would kind of go in with what we're getting. I know, sorry this reading might seem kind of like a downer here, Capricorn, but just check your rising and moon. But they don't come out with double Five of Pentacles for no reason, right? Then we have a no. I think no, they're never going to accept you into that group, so just, who cares? Let it go. You know, I was thinking back to different, not necessarily groups, because I never was like that. I was always like, yeah, whatever, I'll find, you know. I always hung, what was that tune, David Johansen, I get down in any neighborhood, da 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 da. Funky but chic, yeah. I was like that. Well, that was one of the gifts of being raised in the bar. You know, I know how to get along with people. I know how to, you know, be friendly. You know, so if they're being jerks, then I'll just go to the other party that night. You know, I don't care if it's a club and I don't like the band. I'll go to the next club and see a different band. You know, it's not like I'm, oh, they don't like me. I don't care. But I have been that way. You know, way back, like junior high, where I had crushes on boys. You know, and you know, you look at them, you get to there later, once you've got through that, you go back later, and it's just like, what was I thinking? How was I so into that person? What was I even, you know, once you go through this transformation, it's just the universe is pushing you out, and Saturn is your ruler, and Saturn is that pusher, man, you know? So when you get pushed out, it can feel, it's hard, you know, or pushed away, or denied, or rejected, you know? You can get bitter. But once you get past it, you look back and you can see clearly, man, that was never for me. And actually, it was a blessing that happened. Okay, it says there's no accounting for taste. I thought we already had that one. Oh, beauty in the eye of the beholder is very similar to their kinds. Yeah, if they can't see how awesome and wonderful you are, then screw them. What's that from that movie? Screw them. The guy had the stroke. It's Anthony Hopkins. Or not Anthony Hopkins. He's, screw him. What is that? Oh, I can't think of it. He's had a stroke and he can barely talk. But he's like, screw him. Yeah, screw him. Yeah, but, you know, screw him not, you don't want to be putting out bad vibes to anybody either. Just say, okay, universe, that's not for me. Then show me what is, you know. I'm ready. I'm ready, willing, and able to go to the next level and be fulfilled and happy as I should be, and that's the promise of this incarnation. You know, we weren't put here to be the victim of anything, right? I'm hearing victim of love. I feel your broken heart. Well, I could be wrong, but I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm a little off on that. Victim of love. That's such a doo-doo-doo. Tell me what kind of love have you got? Ooh, ooh. Yeah, what kind of love have you got? All right, Capricorns. Well, thanks for tuning in. If you want to get in on the readings that I offer, including the special and eclipse readings, always available through my website. Don't be fooled by these imposters on social media. Next, we're going to take a look at the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius! Well, there is going to be your full moon this month, Aquarius. Not only that, within days, okay, the 27th, the node is moving into your sign. The north node is moving into your sign. If you skip the intro, let me show you the years because it's important to reflect back on those years. It would have been basically 2008 to 2009, 89 to 90, and 1970 to 1972. Now, if you were born any of those years, you're having a nodal return. And that's a time when we really reassess our life. We come into play. The node in your sign is wanting you to follow your true north. Now, all those other dates, none of those time frames, Pluto was never in your sign. So if you were ever going to make a big change with the node going through your sign and Pluto in your sign, this could be the time frame when you could really, really make a big change in your life. Big, huge change. And only to align with your highest calling, though. The north node is your highest calling or your true north. The other thing is you get that's on the 27th when that starts off, and that'll be there for a couple years or so. I think maybe a year and a half or 2 years. Then 2 days later, on the 29th, that's your full moon. So you get the one full moon and one new moon a year. This is it. This is your full moon. And it can relate back to what happened back in like February, late January, February, around your birthday season, or when the sun was in your first house if you're rising. What were you trying to manifest then? What did you set out to do and manifest at that time? You could see the results now. You could either see the results happening, or you could see maybe this isn't going to work. Maybe with the node in Pluto, maybe I need to make some big change and try a different thing. I tried that for 6 months. It isn't working out. What's next? Let's try a different path. All right, let's go ahead and get 3 cards for Aquarius. We've got 6 of Swords, Knight of Swords, and that could be you, and 9 of Cups, a wish card, yay. Let me move these out of the way, and let's get these positioned better. 6 of Swords, Knight of Swords, and 9 of Cups, wish card. Your wish is coming true. Okay, 3 more cards for Aquarius. This is Sun, Rising, Moon, or whatever you resonate. If you watch your Venus and you get messages from it, knock yourself out. Your North Node, that's another one. I would watch North Node before I'd watch Venus. Okay, King of Swords. That's also you, the Star. And then last we have the 7 of Swords. Well, you notice what we have here? Swords. We got sword, 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 swords. Sword, 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 sword. Sword, 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 swords. Sword, 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 sword. Yes, you do have lots of swords. Yeah, well, swords is, but that's your jam. But swords can be, you know, strife. 7 of Swords particularly can be strife and, you know, feeling like something's been taken away from you or an empty victory or something like that. But you have Knight and King of Swords. So when you get the Knight and the King, or even the Page and the Knight, or the Page and the King of the same suit, it shows that you're making progress, okay? And you're moving from the Knight, who's a young person, impulsive, naive perhaps, and now you're taking the seat at the throne of the King, right? You're not the Knight anymore, you are the King. You also have, so this is you, and then you also have the Star card right next to it, and that's your Major Arcana card. And that's kind of like the wish card of the Major Arcana, and you have the wish card of the Minor Arcana, and the wish card of the Major Arcana. So big wishes are coming true, but you're stepping into your power. That's what I really get. And that's like I was saying in these nodal returns. You've had these nodal returns before, or the nodes in your sign, rather, you know, to be really correct. Yeah, the nodes have been in your sign. You know, if you're an adult, you probably had it in there a couple, 3 times already, right? But you were never, not in this, you know, you were younger. What things that you initiated when you were younger at these time frames, these years that I gave you, and now you're like, well, that doesn't suit me anymore. That was cool for that time frame. That worked for me when I was a younger person, or when I was just, like, if it were the nodal return, say, your first nodal return, you're 18, 19, you're just getting out of high school, maybe going to college, or getting your first big job, or, you know, those kind of things, and you're kind of becoming an adult, more or less. And you don't know shit, basically. You think you know everything, but you don't know shit. And then by the time you get to the King of Swords, you've lived another 19 years, or even another 35 years, or whatever it is. You know, and you've learned a lot along the way. You've come into a level of maturity, knowledge. The King of Swords is big on knowledge. The Six of Swords does say that you're ready to move on. You're ready to move on from things that no longer suit you, from when you were a younger person. Because of course, I mean, some people do the same thing their whole life, but not usually. Especially if you're watching these readings, that usually means that you are somewhat of a seeker. You are interested in evolving. You know, you don't want to, you know, okay, I graduate high school, get married, have a family, end of story. You know, you're evolving. You know, and that's not our society anymore. You know, people don't get married right out of high school anymore, usually. I mean, that's not the norm. But like my parents' generation, that was the norm. That's what they did. You know, you find somebody, you go get a house, and you have a bunch of kids, and end of story. You work the rest of your life, you can get the gold watch, and that's it, you know. And these days, people change careers so much more often. You know, it's a lot more, you know, income streams and entrepreneurial things. So so much has changed, you know, and it's a different, we live in a different world now. Whatever you're going for, it's Nine of Cups. Now, for some, it could be a childhood dream or a dream from a younger time. And Nine of Cups says your wish is coming true. Like maybe you forgot all about it, and now it's coming back. Whatever it is, the Star is another really beautiful card. I mean, again, it represents you, and it's a wish card in itself. But it is your spirit guides, higher forces, higher angels. They're pouring down, raining down the blessings on you. And here's what I want to say about it. You're in a position to receive them now. I think before you weren't in a position to receive them. You would have known what to do with it. You know, you weren't ready. Now you're ready. Now you're ready. And anything that's been taken away from you, or you feel like you were treated unjustly, or whatever the case, now you're going to get those rewards. And you're sitting on that throne. That throne is really the thing that grabs me. And all, you know, all the court cards sit on thrones, but for some reason in this reading, that's just really, really grabbing me about sitting on that throne for you. It's your seat of power. You're stepping into your seat of power. Well, with Pluto, yeah, you're going to be powerful. You know, there is a very powerful, and then the nodes, and then the full moon, all of it. You know, you are in this power time, so claim it. You know, don't shy away from it. Claim it. Okay, let's go ahead and get the animal totem for Aquarius for July. The skunk. Well, smell you. Smell you. Aquarius. People are going to know you. They're going to notice you. That's what the skunk is. Asserting yourself. Commanding respect. Yeah, you're the king. Regardless of gender, you're the king now. Enhanced perception. Clairescence. Aromatherapy. I have skunks every night I smell them around my house. Kundalini rising. Attracting a lover. Walking your path devoid of obtrusions. Yeah, walking your path, that's a big part of what the node is. Walking your true soul's path. Devoid of obtrusions. Devoid of what anybody else thinks, what anybody else is doing. But you know, Aquarius, you go by the beat of your own drummer anyway. I mean, you're one of the, my guys are saying quirky, but yeah, you are definitely not necessarily, although you do rule groups and organizations too, but every Aquarius I ever know kind of, you know, they did their own thing, you know. You're very unique individuals. Okay, let's go ahead and get the, your Holy HAMSA. Holy HAMSA for Aquarius. Time is on my side. Yes, it is. Well, time. Let's see. It's card number 23. If you want to take a peek at it here, and look at some of the words or the images and see if anything stands out to you, because maybe you can get a message that way. Time is also Saturn. You know, I associate it with Saturn because Saturn is Father Time. But okay, let's see what I wrote. Cycles, Saturn, milestones. Yeah, this could be a milestone moment for sure. Time is the most valuable thing we have to spend. Time is a construct of our 3D experience, a marker of milestones, of watershed moments. The corridors of time flow backwards and forwards through the many expressions of our soul experience. The time card may indicate a time to act, a time to let something go, or maybe an indicator that divine timing is at work in your query. In astrology, Saturn is known as Father Time and is symbolic of the wise elder. You may want to look, wise elder, that's you. You're the wise elder now. You may want to look into astrological cycles and transits occurring at this time. Often reflecting back on these cyclical events can offer insights into your current situation. Well, what are we just talking about? All that stuff with the nodes. I just gave you the dates a couple times. You can rewind the video if you missed it. Yeah, so those are cyclical, and those are cycles of time. And when the node goes into your sign, that's often a time to really, you know, act, or you're being pulled towards your true north. Okay, first we have, for lots of love, we have player. Well, that could be a lot of things to a lot of people. Maybe it's you. I kind of think it was you. And not a player in a way. Well, with the Seven of Swords, that could be a player too. Somebody who, you know, who kind of cheated on you, or you felt, you know, you felt betrayed or cheated, player. But I feel like you were just playing at it back then. You were playing at it. Now you're going to take it seriously. You know, that's what I feel like. Hey, somebody out there, you're going to get into some kind of a big game tournament or something. If you play like in poker, World Series of Poker, or big video game tournaments, or some other kind of big tournament, you're going to maybe be traveling to go do that. You could do really well. If that's you, you're going to do really well in that tournament. You're going to be hard to beat with that skunk stuff. Okay, let's see here. Likely. It says likely, so that's a yes. And then finally, the lots of proverb for Aquarius. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. Well, yeah, there you go. I mean, that's just what they're flashing on me is those old commercials with the skillet. This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs or whatever, and they crack the egg. So, I mean, I don't know. Take that as it resonates. I don't really know how that would fit into the reading, but that just flashed in, that my guide showed me that. All right, hey Aquarius, well this is a big time for you, and also the eclipses are going to be happening in your sign. Now this first one, these aren't, but it's still on your axis. It's going to be in Leo, but so it's on the Leo Aquarius axis. So the eclipse readings, they're important to everyone, but I mean, you may want to check it out, or any of the other readings that I have available. By ordering the readings and doing the like, sharing, subscribing, all that good stuff, hyping, and tipping with those super chat things, that always helps keep this channel going and keep me producing video content and the other things I do, including the books and stuff. Alright, next we're going to look at Pisces. Hello Pisces, this is going to be your July of 2026 reading for Pisces Sun, Rising, Moon, or anything that you do resonate with. Let's get our first three cards for Pisces for July. You've got the Ace of Swords, followed by the Knight of Cups, that's a representation of you, and finally the Wheel of Fortune. Well, look at that, that's awesome. Alright, let's get three more cards rather, from the second deck for Pisces Sun, Rising, Moon, anyone who has prominent Pisces in their chart. For July of 2026, Pisces. Cut three piles, 1, 2, 3. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. There he is again. Boy, that King of Pentacles, he's out. 7 of Wands. And then the last card we have is the Two of Swords. Trying to decide. Well, you're trying to make a decision. There's a lot of... You've been struggling. You've been struggling, and you've had a lot on your plate. I mean, the Saturn is out of your sign, all that stuff's out of your sign. But here's another thing, these August eclipse, there's going to be a lunar eclipse in your sign in August. I mean, so you may want to check out that eclipse reading. But yeah, I mean, you're not out of the woods just yet. I'm hearing that, we're out of the woods, we're out of the... Da, 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 da. From the Wizard of Oz, that song is coming on through. You still got a ways to go, but what I love is here's you, and you're heading right towards Wheel of Fortune. You know, you're on your way to the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is fate, destiny, divine timing, fortuna. I always say, I didn't put, I can find the box over here, but I have my Rock and Roll Tarot deck, which is one of the decks that I created. I'm not using it today, but I put the Wheel of Fortune right on the cover of the deck. There it is. And I didn't do it for no reason. Because it does attract. It is a good luck thing. It is this big attraction. It's a major arcana. It's fate, destiny. It's very much a huge positive thing, okay? So you're coming to it. You're being attracted toward it. And that sun is really catching my eye. So it's a lunar eclipse in your sign in August, but it also, a lunar eclipse is just the sun opposed the moon, you know, and there's a sun or moon on here too, and even that kind of looks like it. And there's a moon again. So it does feel like this is the energy leading up to that eclipse in August next month, but you're here in it now. You're heading right towards it. You're heading right into it. And you have the Ace of Swords, so this is a new beginning. This is a breakthrough. This is a new beginning that you're starting now, that's going to lead to much more than you can even anticipate. The King of Pentacles is part of it. He's going to help with, he's offering help, and he's available to help with whatever all the struggles. I feel like he's there to help you weed through the minutia. That's what I'm hearing. So maybe you want to make a break, you want to start a new job, or you want to relocate even, or you want to, you know, sell or buy a house or move or a condo. Yeah, and there's all this stuff that has to be dealt with. You got to find it, or you're going to sublet an apartment, you got to find a renter, you got to find this, you got to do that, you got to do this, you got to get that fixed, you got to paint, you got to get things ready. You know, it's all this stuff, and paperwork, and, you know, entanglements. And the King of Pentacles is just like, dude, I do this all day, every day. Here, let me handle it for you. And you're trying to decide. Well, I say let him handle it, because let's be honest, Pisces. Unless you have other placements, you're probably not great at. That's not really your jam, you know, going through complicated paperwork and stuff like that, and you know, that's not really. I mean, maybe you can do it. You know, I can do it. I'm not a Pisces, but I have Jupiter in Pisces, and I have Neptune in my first house, so I have a very Piscean, you know, chart. And you know, you're good at the spiritual, the creative, you know, all that kind of stuff. You know, when the other side of the brain, I always get it mixed up. I think the left brain is the part that has to do math and do this stuff, you know. And I'm terrible at that stuff too. I mean, I can do it, but it's hard and it's aggravating. Okay, so this guy's showing up and saying let it do it. The other thing is, it could be too, is like it would be worth doing it. It would, maybe it's just like, well, this opportunity's here, this great thing is opening up for me, but oh, it's just, I gotta do that. I would have to do this. I'd have to board my pets. I'd have to do this. Oh, this is like your list of all the bullshit that you have to get through to get there. But it might be worth doing. And this could even be somebody who's just like, they'll give you a moving allowance or something to hire help to do it, or hire somebody who's an organizer or help you move or something like that. So you're still, looks like you're kind of still on the fence about it because of all the work and hassle involved. And these pink socks are not quite the same color, are they? Maybe it's just a color proofing thing, but it looks like this one's more of a peach, like an orange pink, and this is more of like a hot pink. So he doesn't have his socks on right here. What could that mean? So maybe he's just so overwhelmed and busy he can't even, you know, he didn't even notice that he doesn't have the same kind of socks on. Or maybe it's a fashion statement. I don't know. It could be any of it. But, because, you know, what else? Her boot was standing out to me. So, and you rule, Pisces, you're ruled by your feet, too. So it might be something with your feet or boots or shoes or something like that. But something's unfolding. And I have a very strong feeling like it's going to be when we get to that lunar eclipse, August 28th. This is the beginning of it. The Ace of Swords is the beginning. Only the beginning of what I want to feel forever. Hey, yeah, only the beginning. Let's get that animal totem for you, Pisces. Dog. Dog is an excellent card. It's about having friends, being part of the group and part of the pack. Let's see here. Loyal companion, protector, ally. Immense capacity for unconditional love. Service to the pack, a group incarnation. To have friends, you must be a friend. Yeah, so this Wheel of Fortune, whatever you're going towards, there's going to be friends there and allies and peeps. You're going to have your peeps. You're going to be with your people. Okay, let's see. People, keep on keeping till I reach fire down. Don't get that. People, keep on keeping. All right, let's get the Holy HAMSA for Pisces. Health. Okay. Well, that's just basically, you can take a look at it. It's card number 21. This is just basically a card of, you know, look after your health, or go get that checkup and stuff like that. It's more of the traditional health stuff. Fitness, wellness, medicine. It's often said that your wealth is in your health. In our modern day, our health often gets overlooked as we put it on the back burner. This card reminds you to look after yourself. Check in on yourself. Are you getting enough rest, exercise? What about your diet? This is a good time to schedule a checkup. In some cases, this card may indicate a career in the medical field. That's what I was going to say, too. Maybe you'd have to get certified to be a healthcare worker or whatever. You know, it might be a hassle to go through, but maybe that's your calling in life, you know. A career in the medical field, whether a health practitioner, pharmaceutical industry, or other health and fitness-related vocations. You know, something I forgot to mention for you, too, in the onset here, the North Node has been in your sign. And it's going to be for a couple of years. And it's going to be, I mean, it may not have been the most prominent thing that were drawn to or were feeling, because all this other crap was going on with Saturn and, you know, Neptune and eclipses in your sign and everything else. But yeah, the node has been in your sign for the last couple of years, and it's going to stay. It's still in your sign, and it's making, actually the node is making all these big aspects to when I did the Cancer ingress readings. You know, it was the 0 Cancer and the 0 Chiron, and then the nodes were at 0 just about, and all this, you know. So, and a lot of times you won't get the message or the gift till they're on their way out. Well, they're on the way out. On the 27th, it's going to move out of your sign and then into Aquarius, because the nodes move backwards. So, you know, your calling might just be, my guide said they're rolling out the red carpet for you. And more or less like they're saying they can't be any more clear about what this destiny is. But it's up to you to take that step and do it, you know. So maybe it is a career in the health field. Or maybe you have to be more fit to do it. Like maybe you want to be a fireman or wherever. I remember I was going to try out for the fireman job, but you had to be able to lift a 180-pound dummy and walk up a ladder with, and I said, screw that, I can't do it. You know, you got to pass fitness tests to do it. Okay, let's go ahead and see here. We got a bully. Bully for you, bully for me. Gotta get a wrench going. Flying, flying. All right. Next could be a bully. It's not really showing in the reading, but it might be for somebody out there. Let's see, or maybe that you might feel bullied a little. It says, yep. Yepers. You're on your way to the big time. I think that came out in another song here. Let's see, one more. Got a stitch in time saves 9. Yeah, do it right the first time. This could be, again, with this aggravating paperwork stuff, you know. Maybe it's just like, oh, you go through and you do all the paperwork and then you forgot one thing and you gotta go do it all again. Where if you would have called the dude and had him help you, it would have been done right the first time, you know. That basically, a stitch in the time saves 9 just means that. Do it right the first time. Measure twice, cut once, you know. And that's for like cutting wood and stuff, you know. Because if you cut wrong, then you're screwed, you know. So if you measure twice, make sure you're doing it right, then off you go. You're off to the races. All right, Pisces, well, this is very exciting. This is some very exciting opportunities, breakthrough. You're heading towards your destiny. You're gonna find people there too. It's not, you may be going there alone. It could be moving to another city or state or somewhere, another country on your own. Maybe that's what you're gonna do. And it's just like, oh, I won't know anybody there. Whatever it is, you're gonna find your peeps with the dog energy. Some of you might be getting an actual dog as a pet too. That could be too. All right, everyone. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. If you like, share, comment, all that good stuff, hype, helps keep this channel going, which helps me do all my other stuff that I do, which is not only here, but I do private readings, and I do writing, and I do art and music and the whole bunch of stuff. But this is an important component of it, you know. And if you want to get a reading, well, the eclipse reading of the second eclipse is in your sign, so you may want to check it out. This is going to be available for a limited time, just through August, and you know, other readings are available on my website, vickybilly.com. Do not be fooled by imposters. I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful, I was going to say week of July, but the way time's flying, it sure seems like a week, doesn't it? But no, month of July. And I'll be back again soon. Check back with my channel or hit the subscribe button, because I do post other readings almost on the weekly, usually on the weekly. If there's something to talk about, you know, I'll post a reading about it. Because last month there was something to talk about every week, so I did a Jupiter reading. If you haven't seen those, you can always head over to my Rock and Roll Prophetess channel or follow the link below. And, you know, I do always, lately it's just all signs. That's just the best way, I think, to do it. All right, have a great one, and I'll be back again soon with another reading. Till then, bye.